Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Tsunade takes away Naruto's headband. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Mod Soul 792 and link in the description and support writer. Let's start the video. Starting from scratch. Chapter 1. Getting away from it all. Flashback. Naruto was fighting Sasuke on a lake when Sasuke said, "Naruto, for the last time. I'll kill you if you get in my way, Orochimaru's." But Sasuke. Orochimaru doesn't care about you. All he wants is to overtake you. Why won't you listen? Even if you're telling the truth, at least I'd get revenge on my brother. Do you think Orochimaru cares if you get your revenge? What about? Sasuke interrupted shouting, "You'll have to take me back by force." Naruto realized there was nothing he could do. Fine. Forming a Rasengan, Naruto was able to find an open spot in Sasuke to attack. But then, Sakura found the two and saw Naruto charge with a death attack for Sasuke and she shouted, "Naruto. Stop. How could you try to kill Sasuke?" Losing his grip, Naruto missed Sasuke, who then kicked him in the head and sent him through the trees. Sasuke ran off and left Sakura with Naruto. Waking up with a red mark on his face, Naruto was shouted at by Sakura, "Naruto. It's all your fault. Now Sasuke will never come back." Then flashback. So first thing wrong. 1. Naruto couldn't bring Sasuke back for the third time. Second. 2. Sakura hates Naruto for attempting to knock out Sasuke when he never intended to kill him. Walking down the street, Naruto was given mean glares from villagers around him, this time though, more than usual. Thinking of his rejection, Naruto remembered the third problem. 3. The villagers despised Naruto for returning to the village after the 2.5 years. Why should he have come back? It didn't matter. There was no reason to stay in Konoha anyway, except Sakura, Tsunade and Hinata. As for Jiraiya, Naruto always traveled with him. Tsunade was the Hokage, but can't control the villagers who hate him. Then remembering, Naruto took out the necklace Tsunade bought and gave him. Maybe he could make things better. The next day, Naruto found himself in the local park. He tied the first Hokage's necklace to a small box and looked for Sakura. When finding her at the bridge, Naruto said, "Sakura-chan, I'm sorry if I disappointed you again, I'll do better next time." Naruto gave the sour-faced Sakura the present and she examined it for just a second. She then hit him in the face, knocking him off the bridge shouting, "I held this from you for a long time, Naruto. I told Sasuke this a long time ago. You enjoy my pain. All you do is meddle with others' lives. I want you to leave me alone. Nobody wants to be with you." Sakura, with her extreme strength, crushed the first Hokage's necklace in two and threw it into the water, back to Naruto. That was it, Sakura passed the line. Naruto had chuckled, making Sakura scream, "What's so funny, fool? You never told Sasuke that. What do you know?" That was me who you told. Say something I don't know." Naruto disappeared and at the scene, villagers were laughing and smirking. The lady approached Sakura and asked, "Has that boy done anything to you?" Sakura smirked and said, "Yes, he has. All my time he's been pestering me. And I made sure he won't do it again." The man in the back smiled evilly and asked, "What's your name, girl?" "Sakura Haruno, sir." "Thank you. I'll be on my way." While walking back to his apartment, Naruto walked by the tavern district where witch men were drunk and their kids were running loose. Naruto was hit with a rock thrown by a boy who was probably told to do that from his drunk father. Throwing the rock back at the boy, Naruto knocked the kid on his feet. But hey, what would the father do? Thought Naruto emotionless. Arriving at his apartment, Naruto entered his mind. "Hey Fox. What do you want?" "Nothing, just came to talk." "Why should I talk to you? I thought it would get lonely in here. You got nerve entering my cage. Can I ask you something?" "What the hell is it? What do you do when things go wrong?" "Either you make it better or start over." "Okay then. Thanks." The next day, Naruto listened to Kyuubi's strangely helpful advice and went to settle some things. When he reached Team 7's training grounds, Naruto met up with Sai, Sakura and Kakashi. "Good news everybody," said Kakashi. "What is it?" "New makeout paradise." "Haha no. Starting today, I'll be back in my old Ambu position, but during the day, I train you three." Everyone nodded and at the end of the day, Naruto walked up to Sakura and said, "Listen, Sakura. I know we." "Listen, Naruto. I don't want to talk to you right now. Please leave me alone, okay?" Realizing Sakura didn't hit him, Naruto already made progress and decided to leave Sakura alone. On the way back home, Naruto passed by a crowd of people who were all signing a paper a man was showing on a desk. Maybe it's a voting stand, thought Naruto. Knowing that he was never able to vote in regular community things, Naruto transformed into an average boy to observe the paper. On it, the paper said, "Yesterday, Uzumaki Naruto was seen molesting Haruno Sakura. From this boy's history, I have decided to write a petition to the council in favor of banning or executing Uzumaki Naruto. All in favor of this idea please sign below." Looking at the bottom of the paper, Naruto could see it was filled with signatures, and not only that, stapled to the first paper was another with even more signatures. All these people want me gone, eh? And Sakura, she probably knew of this. They all want me dead. Thought Naruto lifelessly. Looking at the man responsible, little did Naruto know, he was the man who had confronted Sakura and asked for her name. If they want me gone, they'll get their wish. Thought Naruto walking to his home. When he reached his apartment, he immediately packed a bag with clothing and food. When night fell, Naruto wrote a letter and placed it on his bed. On second thought, Naruto crumbled up the paper and chucked it in the trash. Then he started a new letter and placed it in an envelope. Then he wrote an address and slipped the necklace into it. When he opened his door, Naruto said, "No more, I don't want to have anything to do with this place anymore." Now outside, Naruto placed his letter in the send box. Reaching the gate, he could see that 5 Ambu were guarding the gate. Naruto tried to penetrate the wall but fell into a trap net. Coming up to him, the Ambu saw him dangling in the air and chuckled, all but one. Naruto said, "I'm leaving, you should be happy." The Ambu chuckled and said, "We can assassinate you right here." Looking into Kyuubi, Naruto said with an emotionless voice, "Help me get out." Understood. Naruto was temporarily shrouded in dark red chakra, which burned up the net. Immediately, the tallest Ambu did some seals, and then the others fell asleep. They'll wake up and forget what happened. "Why are you helping me?" asked Naruto. "If you want to go, get moving now." Naruto thanked the man behind the dog mask and ran off through the forest. Naruto, sorry it came to this, said Kakashi. The next morning, AN. From here on out, there are no more changes. When Konoha's Shunin rookies woke up and arrived at the academy, they all searched for the blonde-haired ninja. The clock hit noon and a sound went off in the building. All the kids turned their attention to the announcement, "Uzumaki Naruto has gone missing. Take your time to search the city for him." "Thanks." The ninjas sprung into action and searched for an hour when they heard another announcement, "You may see searching for Naruto." The 3, Sakura went down to Tsunade's for her daily workout. Arriving, Sakura could see Tsunade rummaging through some items. "What are those?" asked Sakura. "These are things that Naruto left in his house." Sakura observed the desk and didn't see many things. Naruto apparently, before Tsunade could finish, a council member brought Tsunade her daily mail. Tsunade took the letters and threw them back as she read who sent them. Once she reached the last one, her eyes widened and she ripped the envelope open, dropping from inside the necklace, which seemed to be tampered with, as though it was broken once. As Tsunade read the letter while biting her nails, Sakura said, "Naruto tried to give me that dumb necklace and say he'll help me. I just want him to leave me alone." At the very moment Sakura finished her sentence, Tsunade analyzed the note, Sakura's comment, and the shattered necklace. And Tsunade's deduction wasn't good. "Sakura. This note is a letter that Naruto sent. He left the village." Sakura didn't believe what she was hearing and Tsunade continued. "You say you've seen him recently and what did you do?" Sakura realized the extreme line she's crossed and didn't want to answer. So Tsunade answered for her. "The letter reads that Naruto has been mistreated and offended. Tell me right now, Haruno Sakura. Tell me what you did to Naruto." Sakura again fell silent and bit her lip. "This necklace is made of the hardest stones in the land. Only 2 people in this entire village could have broke it. They are myself and you." Sakura said, "It's just that." Tsunade interrupted shouting, "This necklace was my most precious heirloom and I gave it to Naruto as a gift. This necklace you destroyed belonged to my ancestry of the first Hokage. You broke Naruto's heart." Sakura closed her eyes and thought Tsunade would attack her, instead she turned around and said, "Just go, alright, don't come back tomorrow, I need some time to think." Sakura knew what she'd done and felt stabs of guilt each time she took a breath, she didn't deserve anything right now and neither did the villagers. Tsunade alerted the council and they brought in Hada Kakashi and the 4 other Ambu. "Kakashi," said Tsunade, "last night you were on guard duty for Konoha's gates. Did you see anyone penetrate the wall?" "No, Tsunade-sama, not one person seen all night." "What about you, Ambu? Did you see anything?" They all shook their heads in disapproval. Tsunade dismissed the men outside while reading the letter over and over again. Kakashi sighed and thought, "Good luck, Naruto. You're better off out there anyway." Starting from scratch. Chapter 2. A fork in the road. Naruto had been traveling from the city non-stop for an entire 2 days. He passed a border and decided that he'd be out of Konoha's reach. Sitting down against a tree, Naruto thought, "I wonder which village I'll reach now. I've been heading north all this time, should have headed east to the Wave village, too late now." Naruto looked up at the sky and realized a thunderstorm was approaching. He took shelter in a nearby cave. As the rain fell, temperature in the cave dropped very low, making Naruto shiver. "What's wrong, scum?" asked the Kyuubi from inside Naruto. Naruto didn't reply, he just slept on the cold floor, completely ignoring Kaiba's taunts. "The village has always treated you like this. See? I was right. Not that I'm sorry for you, but they really should appreciate you if you could hold up me." There was no arguing, Naruto agreed completely. "Hey Fox," said Naruto, "you're going to like this." Naruto took off his hit-I-8 headband while pulling out a kunai. Scratching the headband with his kunai, Naruto left a big cut that went across the metal. The headband looked like Idachi's now. Naruto was quiet for a moment, then shouted, "I'm going far away." "Where?" "I don't know yet. As far as I can go. I have a suggestion." "What is it?" Kyuubi jumped in his cage. "You are going to take my advice." Naruto's eyes showed no life as he said, "Led the way." Kyuubi smirked and said, "It's about time you learn your place. First, you head northeast. Then when you reach the Kumo village, Cloud Village, there is a settlement in the country." Naruto pondered and looked at his map and told Kyuubi, "This would work, but isn't the Cloud Village Konoha's enemy?" Kyuubi started chuckling and said, "You aren't a Konoha ninja anymore, they will take you in if you can earn your salt. So I take a test and they'll make me a citizen of the village." "Yes. In this village it's different. Their wind-based moves originated in the land now known as the Cloud Village. Cultural diffusion changed their regular ninja practices. Although many of them now practice lightning-based moves, many have a handful of wind-based attacks as well. If we want to take any chances, it's there he may be if you promise to be their little Jinchuruki toy. I'm sure they'll let you in, but as I said, you'll have to be able to get in and convince them this is the best we can do since we left the village without thinking." "Fine, we'll go anywhere is better than Konoha. So you're serious about this thing? You're not going to back out?" "Have I ever backed out of anything?" Konoha. Next morning, Tsunade was running to the stage of the town square. Everyone in the village attended the announcement under order. "People of Konoha started Tsunade, Naruto Uzumaki has left the village." Suddenly an outburst of cheers came from the people of Konoha and people began to drink booze in joy. "This isn't good," shouted Tsunade at the top of her voice. Everyone jumped at her screams and so did some Ambu. "Naruto Uzumaki was tormented by you villagers all his life and if I had anything to do about it, I would have banned this discrimination." The villagers' cheers turned into discouragement. "The demon is gone. Who would care for a beast? Our village is safe, as well as our children," said some of the villagers. Tsunade clutched her fist tight and slammed it to the floor, destroying the stage. "Naruto is not a demon. He was just a boy trying to make your lives better. What respect did you show him? Do you know who stopped Shukaku? Do you know who convinced me to become Hokage? Do you know who was risking his life every day for the Uchiha boy and you people who don't deserve it?" All the villagers looked down in embarrassment, others left. "It was Naruto. He's no demon. How do you feel to have a real demon sealed inside you? Would you want it to be treated the way you did to him? He never even had parents. Yet you assholes whip him around and treat him like dirt." Tsunade quickly looked at Sakura, then some people in the crowd, and left to the council building. Naruto. When Naruto had reached the borderline of the second village he arrived in, Kyuubi said, "Now past this village and you reach the clouds." Naruto nodded and continued through the forest. After an hour and a half of walking, Naruto came across a dead end in the forest. He'd reached a coastline. In front of him, there was a large cliff and it scaled high, wide to the point that it traveled through the ocean. The only way through was a cave at the foot of the mountain. "What do you think?" "No problem." Naruto's eyes turned red and he could see perfectly in the cave. "Cool, I believe Konoha has given up by now. Good." Kyuubi nodded in his cage and Naruto entered the cave. The second he stepped in, Naruto fell down a hole disguised with ninjutsu. Naruto kept falling into the pitch-dark abyss until he hit his head against a hard rock. He slowly got up but fell back to his knees unconscious. Slowly waking up, Naruto was tied up in chakra chains by none other than Kabuto. "Up early, Naruto?" Kaiba's help, no doubt. Naruto sneered and looked up at a tall, dark man who had a boy Naruto's age at his side. Orochimaru laughed and asked, "How'd you find me so early, Naruto?" Sasuke was chuckling and Naruto said, "I'm just passing by, let me go." Orochimaru flinched back and asked, "So you gave up on retrieving Sasuke?" Naruto smirked and replied, "Nah, I'm taking vacation." "Then I guess I can kill you now?" asked Sasuke. "Your call." Sasuke was shocked. Never before has Naruto let Sasuke call the shots without arguing. "What happened?" asked Sasuke, suddenly concerned. Naruto laughed like never before and said after stopping, "I'm like you now. Missing Nin and everything. I'll probably be in the bingo book soon." "You left. Do I have to say it again? Are you joking? There are probably leaf nins outside guarding the entrance." Naruto frowned sarcastically, "Nope, I'm in deep shit. Just like you." Disclaimer. I don't own Naruto or any of its characters. Starting from scratch, putting the past behind you, some promises are fulfilled when you least expect it. Orochimaru started laughing and Sasuke stood frozen. Naruto smiled and asked, "What's wrong, Sasuke-kun? Fox got your tongue." "I'll leave him to you, Sasuke." Orochimaru left the room. After a minute of silence, Naruto broke it, "Come on, Sasuke. Kill me. Hurry it up." Sasuke was in deep denial, "You can't be Naruto." "Of course I am. The dope, loser, dunce, the goddamn list goes on." Sasuke listened to Naruto continue for about 10 more seconds. "Clown, oh and my favorite. Dead last. Naruto then felt a big hit on the head, stop it now. The real Naruto doesn't take those insults from anyone. Now he does. Oh yeah. I forgot to add these nicknames to my list. Sasuke jerked a tear as Naruto said, outcast, fool, clueless. Sasuke's fist clutched tight, Jinchuruki. On the edge, Sasuke was pushed off by Naruto's final statement, no. Not Jinchuruki. I'm a goddamn Biju. Biju is tailed demon. Inside, Kyuubi said, Kit, sorry. Naruto inside chuckled and said, don't worry about it, besides, what I just said is true. I'll make it up to you. Sasuke then shouted, Naruto. What the hell happened? Walking in the room, a teared Orochimaru said, Sasuke come. Orochimaru saw Naruto still alive, you didn't kill him. Naruto shook his head and said, Sasuke is afraid, do it for him. Sasuke left out the door and Orochimaru said, in due time. After 5 minutes of silence, Naruto started talking to Kyuubi. Yo, I think I know how you can make it up to me, Kyuubi. What do you have in? Kyuubi was shocked, you didn't call me bastard fox. Nah, we're going to have to settle this feud anyway, I need you to concentrate your chakra in my arm. With Orochimaru and Sasuke. What do you need me for, sensei? Asked Sasuke. Well, I need a favor. What kind? It's about time you gave me collateral for the power I gave you. Sasuke's eyes widened and tried to escape, but was taken down by Kabuto's medical jutsu. You aren't going anywhere, Sasuke-kun. Said Kabuto. Naruto was right all this time, you just wanted to use me. Orochimaru chuckled and said, sorry, people mad for power come to me, and I make sure I get a reward anyways, so sorry you'll never fulfill your goal, time ran short. And here is where I start to change the fight scene. Before Orochimaru can finish his hand seals, jumping from the ceiling was Naruto with chakra focused on his arm like a blade. Running the blade through Kabuto, Naruto leaped back and charged at Orochimaru, who started to execute seals rapidly. Kabuto. Healing his wounds, Kabuto focused chakra in his palm and jumped in front of Naruto, ripping a muscle in his arm. I thought you were going to leave. I still have to do something before I can put Konoha behind me. Naruto unlocked 3 tails of power from Kyuubi and still seemed to be conscious. Kabuto, stall him for 5 more minutes. Sasuke. You see what happens when you don't listen to friends. Idiot. Sasuke struggled to break free but was drained of his energy. Naruto dodged a blow to the neck from Kabuto and countered with an uppercut, striking a substitution. Kabuto laughed as he easily healed his wound. Naruto-kun, that isn't going to work, it's been 5 years since you last fought me. Charging the Rasengan in his hand, Naruto tried to hit Kabuto. That move's getting old. Kabuto charged chakra in his palm again, and before Naruto's Rasengan made contact with him, Kabuto ripped Naruto's wrist muscle, breaking the Rasengan. Arg. Inside his head, Naruto said in front of Kyuubi's cage, this isn't working, I need more. Are you insane? My chakra will begin to consume you if you go any further. Exactly. Are you sure about this? Just this once, Kyuubi. Naruto walked up to the cage and pulled the seal note holding the cage together down halfway, and he said that should do it. Back in reality, Naruto's screams turned into roars, and the cave began to shake. 2 more tails sprouted from Naruto, making 5 in total. Kabuto started to evade falling rocks, while Naruto charged the Rasengan again. It didn't work last time, said Kabuto, charging chakra in his palm. Die. Kabuto again tried to rip Naruto's muscle, but when his hand came in contact with Naruto, not only did the chakra disappear from his hand, but it tore to pieces. The Rasengan then made contact with Kabuto, sending him through the rocks. When Kabuto emerged, he had a hole right in his chest, which he healed mostly, and then collapsed like last time. The Kyuubi couldn't control Naruto much longer. Not yet. Naruto sprinted to Orochimaru, who opened his mouth and let a sword fly in Naruto's direction, hitting the wall and creating a cloud of dust. Where is he? Orochimaru had used a lot of chakra to activate the jutsu to consume Sasuke, so he didn't notice below. Emerging from the ground, Naruto rose with his claw-like hands up and ripped Orochimaru's hands off. Let's see you finish now, bastard. Orochimaru couldn't summon Manda because the cave wasn't large enough, and so, he once again summoned a sword from his throat. Naruto had lost form of the Kyuubi and was reverted to his normal self. Guard down. Orochimaru slashed Naruto in the back twice and then stabbed into his chest. When you die, I'll be taking your hands. Shouted Orochimaru, kicking Naruto into the corner. Moving the sword in front of Naruto's head, Orochimaru said, you should have left this place and you might have lived. Anything to say? Yeah, that sword must jack up your eyesight. What? He was right, the sword blocked Orochimaru's view from below him. Naruto kicked Orochimaru in the jaw and shouted, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. The 5 clones one slammed Orochimaru back down and then kicked him back up, sending him flying into the air. Orochimaru noticed that Naruto wasn't going to do the Naruto Renden. Instead, Naruto was up with a falling boulder and shouted, break down Renden. Naruto kicked the falling boulder towards Orochimaru, thus increasing its speed. The rock crashed into Orochimaru's skull, knocking him out. And now, said Naruto, pushing himself off the roof and bringing back his fist. Punching him in the gut, Naruto shouted, "Die." Orochimaru crashed into the floor and was now unconscious. Naruto knew the cave will bury Orochimaru and Kabuto, so he ran up to Sasuke, who was lucky for not getting hit by a rock, and picked him up. "How did?" "Sorry Sasuke, but I need to save both our asses right now. So if you'd excuse me. An. I hope the fight scene was a little better now." After leaving the cave, back outside, Sasuke saw there were no ninjas and asked, "You were telling the truth?" Naruto nodded, and on that moment, since they were outside, Sasuke could see that Naruto's eyes, despite being light blue, seemed dark and lifeless. Suddenly, the cave now completely collapsed. Naruto sighed, "Now I gotta go over this mess. This is great." He didn't hear Sasuke move. "Sasuke, you gotta go back to Konoha." "Naruto, I can't." "Now leaving," Naruto said, "it's your call." Sasuke replied, "Will they let me in?" "Obviously if they'd beat me senseless every time I didn't come back with you, I'm pretty sure they'd let you back in happily." "Then you gotta return too." "No. It's too late for me." "It's not. I was gone for more than 3 years. You've been gone for only." "I'm different Sasuke." Now positive there was no convincing, Sasuke asked, "What happened? Just tell me." Naruto chuckled, "I'm not telling you." "Why not?" Sasuke remembered the day he asked Naruto advice for climbing trees, just like right now. Naruto faced Sasuke with hatred-filled eyes and said, "You can ask Sakura." "How'd she know?" "I think she'll know. It was like she was there when it happened." "Really? Are you sure?" Naruto inside laughed and said, "I'm pretty darn damn straight." "Naruto, I'm sorry but I'm not leaving without you." Now mad, Naruto shouted, "No Sasuke. I'm not taking any shit from them anymore." Sasuke tapped Naruto, who stepped away, and said, "Go on Sasuke, go and fulfill your dreams while they're still alive." Even though he wasn't facing Sasuke, he could smell tears. "Alright, good luck Naruto." Naruto, without turning around, said, "Tell Konoha." 3 days later, Naruto was counting his steps, 5, 6, 7, 8. "We made it." Now standing on the peak of a mountain, Naruto said, "I can see the village." In front of them was a gate that seemed to be floating in the air. Suddenly, 2 cloud nins knocked Naruto down and ordered, "Name yourself." "I'm Naruto Uzumaki." After looking in a small book, one said, "He's not a missing nin in our bingo book." Naruto chuckled and thought, "That's because they don't have the new bingo book." The nins turned back to Naruto and said, "To gain entrance, you must stand in front of our gate." Naruto's jaw dropped and asked, "That gate is floating. I can't do that." The nins then shouted, "Then you can't enter. This will take a while." Naruto jumped to the gate, using chakra to stick his feet to the wooden gate. He slapped as the guard said, "This gate won't stick to chakra." Kyuubi slapped his forehead with a tail, "This will take a while." Sasuke could see Konoha's gates from afar. "Here I go." Chapter 4. End of past, beginning of future. In Konoha, Tsunade was doing her paperwork when an Ambu opened the door frantically saying, "A missing nin is at the gate." "Who?" asked Tsunade in hopes of Naruto. "It's Uchiha Sasuke." Tsunade grinned and ran to get Sakura. Finding Sakura in the shopping district, Tsunade said, "Sakura. Sasuke's here." Sakura dropped her basket and smiled widely. Naruto must have left to get him. Opening the gates, Sasuke entered and was embraced by Sakura immediately. Sakura laughed and squeezed Sasuke to the point of suffocation. "Sasuke. You're back. I never thought this day would come." Tsunade was looking around and asked, "Where's Naruto?" Sasuke broke Sakura away, and before he could speak, Sakura asked, "Yes Sasuke. Where is Naruto? I have to apologize to him." Sasuke looked at the ground and said, "He wasn't kidding." Tsunade and Sakura were confused. Then, with one sentence, Sasuke explained everything. "Naruto wanted me to tell you that his debt to Konoha has been paid, he kept his promise, and left for good." Sakura started crying and Tsunade shouted, "You let him go." "I had no choice." "Then how did he get you to come back?" asked Sakura shuddering. "We ran into each other, he killed Orochimaru. I was just a detour that he stopped at. I got really lucky, Orochimaru was going to kill me." Tsunade closed the gates and took Sasuke to the council. On the way, villagers were cheering and after a moment, put a look of disgust as they seemed to look for someone else. "They're looking for Naruto," said Sasuke regrettably. "Sakura, why did Naruto leave?" She was quiet now, and then Tsunade shouted, "She broke his heart again." Sasuke glared at Sakura in complete hatred. "He was always there for me, tried to make everything better, I would wish for a second chance to win him back," thought Sakura. With Naruto, after hours of attempts, Naruto is bruised and seems to have given up. "Don't tell me you're giving up, kid. You'd never do that." "I've changed." "Come on. You used to be so stubborn that if you were assigned to walk on air, you'd try until you get knocked in the head unconscious." Naruto's brain clicked, "That is it." Naruto put his hands into a cross seal and focused chakra on his feet. "What do you got planned?" "Well, Kyuubi, air is not a solid, but it, like water, it takes up space, it has mass." "Very interesting." Naruto, now concentrated, placed a foot on the sky and stabilized. Smirking widely, Naruto started walking on air. Now in front of the floating gate, Naruto shouted to the now asleep ninjas, "Open the gate. I'm here." Startled by Naruto's quick success, the ninjas opened the gates, and Naruto could see people wearing white robes and a city that resembled Konoha. Ninjas were waiting for Naruto at the front. "The Raikage will see you now." "Whoa, I'm glad I never destroyed this place." Then, all the villagers ceased their actions and started clapping. Naruto was confused, he only felt this once, and it was during the Chunin exams for a couple of seconds. Naruto smiled, "No glares so far, so that's why you're happy." After sponging in the applause, Naruto's face returned to his blank state. "Let's go." Inside the council building, Naruto was assigned a seat and waited patiently for the Raikage. "So kid, how long do you plan to stay here?" "How long? I plan to stay forever." "Won't you miss Konoha?" "They won't miss me, so I won't miss them." The door budged open and a man wearing the classic Kage robes entered, smiling calmly. "Hello Naruto Uzumaki. Welcome to the Cloud Village." "Thank you Raikage." "Tiled, where are you from?" "I'm from Konoha." Naruto's stomach curled when he mentioned Konoha because the cloud isn't exactly best friends with the leaf. "You're part of the leaf." Naruto gulped some air down and prayed he won't be killed. Instead, the Raikage smiled and asked, "What happened that you left?" "I'm tired of the village, all my life they treated me as a tool, now I'm out." Raikage looked at Naruto in suspicion and asked, "Why would they treat you so?" "I had a strange childhood, they treated me like this ever since." "Are you just a spy trying to get information on the cloud?" Naruto shook his head vigorously saying, "I don't want to go back." Raikage stared at Naruto and then said, "I can see you're telling the truth." And as though it was their lucky day, the Raikage noticed Naruto's scratched headband and asked, "So you're unappreciated and you really want to start anew?" Naruto's fists clutched and then the Raikage stuffed Naruto's headband back in his arms. "Tomorrow, we'll meet at my arena. I will decide whether or not you stay or leave. In the meanwhile, you're here for the night." Naruto was sent to a nearby room and gasped in shock. The room had a nice yellow shade and the bed felt nice and soft. "Whoa. Let's open the window." Blowing inside was a breeze as soft as the bed itself. "Wow, we have got to stay here." Naruto looked out the window in Konoha's direction and thought, "This is my new home and I'm going to make sure I stay." In Konoha, Sakura had been sulking all day and when she reported to the team, her first question was, "Who's replacing Naruto?" Kakashi forced a smile and said, "Since Naruto left, Sasuke is our team replacement. Feels funny having Sasuke here and not Naruto." When Kakashi left to retrieve something he left at home, Sasuke asked, "Sakura, you have to tell me what you did to Naruto." Sakura frowned, "Tsunade told you." "There's more to it, I know that." Biting her lip, Sakura started stressing words, "When you left, I never got over it. I waited and waited for you, it drove me insane. Then, the day before he left, Naruto tried to give me a present. It was the only thing he's ever received from someone as a gift. He was going to give it to me and he crushed it in his face." Sasuke's forehead turned red and he shouted, "You did that? What were you thinking? Not even I would have done that." "But Sasuke-kun, I was lonely." "What do you mean lonely? Naruto all his life put his sad life on the line to save you and bring me back." After a moment of silence, Sasuke turned and said, "Some of it is my fault, though it was a no-win situation for Naruto anyway. So he just ran away." Kakashi returned, "We might as well get going, come on, we leave early." Okay. Sakura had to hold her tears the entire day. Chapter 5. New faces. With Naruto waiting in the arena for his challenger, Naruto's jaw dropped when the Raikage entered. "You're my opponent." The Raikage chuckled and asked, "Would you rather fight me and stay or return to Konoha?" "What a question. Fine, let's go." It seems whenever I mention Konoha to this boy, his personality changes. He thought. "Hurry up old man. Begin." Naruto pulled out a kunai and tossed it at Raikage. Disappearing in a puff of smoke, the Raikage asked, "Do you really want to be a citizen of the cloud?" Humming above Naruto, the Raikage focused chakra in his arm, making a tornado fist and hit Naruto in the chest. "Of course I do." Naruto slowly got to his feet and the Raikage shouted, "Then fight with your life." Laughing softly, Naruto shouted, "Shadow Clone Jutsu." 20 clones charged at the Raikage with shuriken and kunai. "We ninjas of the cloud manipulate wind in battle. Watch closely." The Raikage blurred hand seals and then created a wind barrier in front of him. "I'm increasing the air's friction so that way your kunai and shuriken can't hit me. This is defensive." Naruto's clones charged with fists up and the Raikage said, "And this is offensive." Using the same barrier, the Raikage swirled it up into a tornado and sucked all the clones into it. The Raikage, like Gaara would do, clutched his fists together and crushed the clones in the tornado. I increased the pre-azure. Deciding on his last resort, Naruto charged a Rasengan in his hand. Stunned by Naruto's ability for such a move, the Raikage put up another wind barrier. Pushing the energy orb into the shield, Naruto fell to the floor and watched the fireworks. First the shield was destroyed, and last, the Raikage went flying into the wall, making a crater. "I'm giving it my all." The Raikage got back up and asked, "Then why am I still up?" Naruto asked Kyuubi, "Can you lend me some chakra?" "Did watch out." Wind started cutting Naruto's clothing, and the Raikage kicked Naruto into the air. Let's see. Focusing his chakra in his feet, Naruto stuck to the sky like a bird. The Raikage wasn't impressed and shouted, "This is your last chance." Naruto did a Kage Bunshin, and they both meshed their Rasengans together. The Raikage had a ball similar to the Rasengan, but was shooting out electricity and tornadoes formed around it. Charging at each other, Naruto shouted, "Adama Rasengan." When the two collided, energy mixed up altogether and exploded on impact. Waking up 2 seconds later, Naruto could see that the Raikage was standing above him, completely unharmed and laughing. "Aw crud, Naruto Uzumaki, welcome to the Cloud Village." Naruto smiled for the first time in a long while. That settled. The Raikage pulled out a Cloud Hit I-8 headband and handed it to Naruto saying, "With your skills, I'd say the Cloud could use a ninja like you." Naruto didn't take off his scarred leaf headband, but placed the Cloud one over it saying, "I can't change my past." The Raikage interrupted with, "But you can change your future, Naruto. You'll be learning under my teachings with my other apprentice. You seem to already know the basics of wind manipulation." Naruto's personality changed when he put on his Cloud headband. He grinned. Tomorrow, first thing in the morning. The Raikage threw Naruto a sack of money and left in a puff of smoke. Walking through the gates, Naruto opened his money pouch and found enough for lunch and dinner, as well as the address to his apartment. After locating the closest ramen shop, Naruto spotted a girl his age in another nearby sushi shop, eating like an animal. She had long ponytailed black hair and was wearing a black jacket with a red tank top and long black pants. "Hey, you're going to get sick." The girl laughed and said sarcastically, "Nice to meet you too. I'm Cyra." Naruto smiled and replied, "Hi, I'm Naruto. You shouldn't eat that quick. I do it all the time and end up regretting it." Cyra stopped devouring her food and replied, "First of all, why can you do it and I can't? Second, are you my doctor? And last, it's my day off and I'm starving." Naruto, for the first time, favored sushi over ramen for lunch and ate with Cyra. "You know, Naruto, is it that people don't really talk to me?" "It's alright, Cyra." The Kyuubi was deep in thought and Naruto asked, "What's wrong?" "Something about this girl, her chakra is strange." Suddenly, a man in the kitchen spilled hot cooking oil on his head and face and started screaming in pain. Cyra jumped in and started healing all the wounds, burns, and holes using unusual medical jutsu. It was way too fast to be done in less than 10 seconds. Despite the man was saved, he scooted back from Cyra. Many bypassers stared at Cyra strangely and seemed scared. Naruto was confused and Kyuubi was stunned. "I've seen this only once, kid. She's younger than you." Cyra left the shop before Naruto could say goodbye. "Well, it looks like we're going to have an interesting time here." Naruto was still staring at the sky. "Don't tell me." Kyuubi is a part of Naruto and could tell that Naruto was thinking of the girl he just met. Naruto reached his apartment and couldn't sleep over excitement of the next day. In the morning, Naruto was awakened by the breeze and immediately headed for the Raikage's training grounds. When there, the Raikage asked, "Are you ready to meet my apprentice?" Naruto nodded and followed the Raikage. "Say hello." Naruto's jaw dropped when he saw the girl from yesterday, wearing the same clothes, and was practicing with targets. "You're Cyra." Cyra waved her hand and said, "And you're the wannabe Dr. Naruto, right?" Naruto scratched his head and Cyra giggled slightly. "Will the surprises never end?" In Konoha, Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke were waiting in the council room for their new member. Walking in, Tsunade said, "This is Mace. He graduated to Chunin a while ago and needs a new team." The boy had blonde hair like Naruto's, except he wore the usual ninja clothes and vest. "Hey. I read your profiles. Kakashi, Sasuke, and Sakura are your names." Outside in the training ground, Mace started off his impression horribly. "I bet you're glad that the Kyuubi brat is out of your hair." "Right." Sasuke glared at him and picked him up by the shirt. "You don't talk about Naruto like that, scum. I may be Jonin, but I'm 10 times stronger than you. So watch your place." "Whatever." Sasuke threw Mace to the side and Kakashi said, "Sasuke, we may miss Naruto, but it won't help us if you gain his attitude of not getting along." "So what did Naruto leave Konoha for?" asked Mace to Sasuke. "I don't know you well enough yet." Disclaimer. I do not own Naruto or any of its characters. Sob. The Raikage raised his arms and said, "It seems you two know each other." He lowered his arms and shouted, "The sparring begins now." Cyra smirked and charged at Naruto. "Let's see what you got." "Wait a moment." Cyra landed a punch on Naruto's face, sending him to the back wall. Naruto lifted himself up and continued to spar with Cyra. "You trained with the Raikage?" "Yeah. Is there a problem?" "No." Cyra tossed a kunai at Naruto while in midair and he disappeared. Looking around for Naruto, Cyra felt the metal of her same kunai at her neck. "That's it?" Cyra grinned and asked, "Is a dumb cake bunshin all you can do?" "What?" Cyra didn't disappear but walked away from Naruto and her neck went by the kunai as though it wasn't there. "A Jinjutsu?" Cyra winked, "Wind illusion." The Jinjutsu faded and Naruto was kicked away by Cyra in back of him. "Get up. Come on, let's go." Cyra began jogging in place. Naruto was about to bite his finger to summon and realized Jiraiya probably rigged it so that if I summon, the toads will tell him what's wrong. Hurry up. Fine, if Jiraiya doesn't want me to summon, I'll resort to the usual. Naruto did a cross-hand seal and shouted, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Cyra sighed and asked, again. The Narutos charged at Cyra, come on Naruto. That won't. Once running forward to her, the Narutos faded from her vision. At least it's something new. Cyra scanned her backside, searching for Naruto. Naruto chuckled and said, look again. Cyra looked back to where Naruto once was to see he was still there. I stick with the moves I got. 1 Naruto kicked Cyra to the floor and 3 kicked her into the air. Flying up high, Cyra watched the real Naruto leap in front of her and lift his leg for an attack. Before Naruto could slam his foot into Cyra, Naruto ran, she caught it with her hands, too slow. Naruto could have sworn he saw her yellow eyes turn purple. Naruto squirmed in the air shouting, let go of me. Let go. Okay. Cyra threw Naruto from the sky and he hit the ground, making a crater. She's as strong as Sakura. Thought Naruto. Careful. The dust cleared and Naruto could see Cyra forming a tornado in her hand. Naruto charged a Rasengan, she's not as strong as Sakura. She's stronger. Naruto leaped in the air and collided his Rasengan with Cyra's vortex. Just like in the Raikage fight, the two chakras mixed together. Naruto, this chakra seems familiar, do you need help? Not now. Cyra showed no sign of stopping the attack and then Naruto could see her eyes go from purple back to her regular yellow. The attack slowed down and the two fell to the floor. Naruto managed to get on his knees and Cyra was completely exhausted. You're good Naruto. Whatever. Naruto frowned and kicked the dirt. Are you always so glum? Naruto laughed and replied, you're the first person that I spar who managed to actually bring me this low. Cyra all of a sudden frowned and said, I'm just a little lucky I had help. What did you say? Cyra faked a smile and replied, working hard pays off. The Raikage clapped and said, very good. Since Naruto is new here, you two are dismissed early today. Naruto followed Cyra outside and asked, would you like to go eat with me? Cyra smiled brightly and pointed to her face, you want to go out with me? What? You haven't eaten out with someone before? No, should have I? I thought you would have. Naruto started to stare at the floor. Why? Cyra leaned over to Naruto to see his face, which had a light red shade. Naruto didn't watch his words and said, because you're so body. Cyra was clueless and Naruto forced the blush away, never mind. Let's go get some ramen. Cyra smiled, what's ramen? Naruto's eyes widened, you don't know what ramen is. You have got to try it. At the ramen stand Naruto located yesterday, he started on his 6th bowl. So Cyra, how many bowls have you eaten so far? Cyra seemed to be pigging out like yesterday and murmured with ramen in her mouth, I'm going on my 4th. Naruto's jaw dropped, never before has anyone eaten even half as much as he does in ramen. Jeez. Already? Well, you're on your 6th and you say not to eat too much. Naruto grinned, I didn't mean it like that. I just didn't know anyone would or could eat as much as I sometimes do. Cyra laughed, this stuff is good. Ayubi was still deep in thought, you know kid, she reminds me of you on way too many things. You're right. Naruto turned his attention back to Cyra, where did you learn such jutsu? I had an old teacher. She taught me chakra control. Oh okay. It's your turn to tell me where you got your jutsu from. Or you can tell me where you came from. What? No. Not right now. What? I talked to you so now it's your turn. I don't want to talk about it. Naruto paid for his ramen and Cyra smirked. Fine. But you have to pay for my ramen. But. Naruto flinched back. Either that or you can tell me where you came from. Naruto sadly paid for her ramen thinking, this is murder to wallet. She left the stand and waved goodbye to Naruto. She's so annoying. Naruto turned around and headed to his apartment. Then why did you ask her out, idiot? Naruto blushed and Kyuubi bugged him all day. Disclaimer. I don't own Naruto or any of its characters. Konoha. In the training grounds, Team 7 decided to see what Mace is capable of. He's a fool. Kakashi patted Sasuke on the head like he would do to Naruto. What did I say about getting along with others? Ah, Mace smiled and asked, come on Sasuke. Still mad about my remark? Sasuke sarcastically said, no, of course not. Alright then. Get ready. Sakura left to get Tsunade and leave the boys be. Begin. Mace didn't move and Sasuke went at full speed with Chidori ready. This is for your little comment on Naruto. Sasuke was about to plunge his Chidori into Mace when suddenly, after he blinked, saw Naruto. What the? Then Naruto, who seemed to be smirking, asked, what's the matter Sasuke? Then Naruto punched Sasuke in the stomach, sending him to the wall. Naruto disappeared and revealed Mace. I didn't detect ninjutsu. What's the matter said Mace chuckling. What the hell? Sasuke recharged a Chidori and tried to strike Mace, only to have him turn into Naruto again. That won't work on me a second time. Shouted Sasuke plunging the Chidori into Mace. Sasuke laughed at Mace, but then could see that the one he hit was bleeding and shouting. Then Naruto. Mace appeared and punched Sasuke in the face. Haha Sasuke still can't figure it out. Deciding not to waste any more chakra, Sasuke clutched his fist and charged at Mace. For a moment, Sasuke detected chakra and as fast as it appeared, it left. I get it. Using his chakra, Sasuke broke the Genjutsu and could see Mace next to a tree. Slamming his fist into Mace, Sasuke said, using Genjutsu to hide chakra. Mace dodged Sasuke's next attack and countered with a kick sending him to a tree. Very good Sasuke. I use Genjutsu not only to project illusions, but to hide my chakra. How do you do that? No one can hit a fair chakra signature. You're right. Guess why I can. As the fight progressed, Sasuke looked at Mace's eyes and saw them move side to side, as though a pendulum. Your eyes, are they a bloodline limit? You got it. I am the last of my clan, the Kirakumas. Once again Mace disappeared and Sasuke decided to turn on his Sharingan. Let me show you my real move, Sasuke. Mace charged at Sasuke from all directions, with shadow clones of course. Sasuke used his Sharingan to determine the movements of each shadow clone and spotted the real one. Throwing shuriken at another to lower suspicion, Sasuke then kicked the real one when he was off guard. Pitiful, that won't work against me. Are you sure? Striking Sasuke from behind, the real Mace slashed at Sasuke with his fist, which now seemed like a giant claw. What did you do? Asked Sasuke, slowly lifting up from the floor. Mace focused his chakra and his other hand shrouded itself in chakra that looked like another claw. He looked like a bear with bloodshot eyes. Alright Sasuke, I'll tell you my secret. My eyes are called Seimin orbs. I'll say that these eyes of mine allow me to perform consecutive Genjutsu in one try. In other words, you won't really tell whether or not you're under Genjutsu or you released yourself from one. I know your chakra has limits, so let's get this over with then. Mace's left yellow chakra claw formed together with his right chakra claw, making a red sword. Sasuke smirked and thought, if I learned anything from Orochimaru. Sasuke's Chidori grew into a shape of a sword, like Mace's. Except it was blue and unlike the Chidori it didn't spark. They shouted and charged at each other with blind determination. When their swords clashed, the chakra started to crack, letting out fumes of light. Finally, the swords exploded, covering the area in light. When Sasuke opened his eyes, he stood up and looked around for Mace and found him behind a tree panting. Beat you? Mace smirked and said, next time it won't be so easy. Sasuke wasn't focused and didn't detect that Mace was using yet another Genjutsu. An Ambu who seemed nervous and sweaty walked into the grounds and asked, I sense chakra here, so I'd figure you guys would be here. Anyway, Hokage-sama would like to talk to you. Running through the entrance hall to the Hokage's room, they could see the door open and inside they could see the floor covered in debris and crying could be heard. When they entered, they could see dust around Tsunade's desk, who she was punching the wall, and to the right, Sakura was in a chair sobbing while holding a booklet. What's going on? Asked Sasuke to Sakura. Mace was restraining Tsunade and she shouted, get off me. I feel like I want to kill the council geezers. What the hell is wrong? Asked Sasuke once more. Look in the goddamn book. Shouted Tsunade. Sasuke took the book from Sakura who said, saw Sasuke look in the end. The book was a bingo book and inside, there were crosses all over faces and doing as told, Sasuke looked in the back where it said, beat S class ninjas. Scrolling through B, Sasuke didn't notice anything strange until he looked at section A. When he went to the last page of the A class, the page showed a picture of Naruto and under his face, it said, Uzumaki Naruto, a class missing nin. Kill if he resists. This is bull. Shouted Sasuke, chucking the book in the trash can. Tsunade hit the wall harder and said, the council said if I didn't have connections with him, they'd put him under S class. The council's excuse was that Naruto is a Jinchuruki and they can't let another village possess of him. They think he's a tool. Tsunade fell to the floor and drank some sake, which had calmed her down since she had been drinking for a while. Sasuke asked, when did they do this? They put him in the bingo book 5 days ago. The sake had gotten into Tsunade without my permission and if anyone is reported to have let him go if seen they'll be killed. Can't you do anything, Tsunade? Sasuke, I'm trying my best. Sakura ran out the door and left for her apartment while Sasuke followed Sakura. Mace picked up Tsunade, placed her on the Hokage's chair and left to get an attendant. At Sakura's apartment, she was on the couch in a blanket sobbing. Can I come in? Asked Sasuke, knocking on the door. It's open. Sasuke entered and took a chair. Sakura, it's alright, we'll make sure Naruto doesn't get killed. But he can't come back, Sasuke. Sakura, if I was in the bingo book and I'm now here to talk to you, I'm sure Naruto will be alright. They'll kill him. Sakura stared blankly at the wall with red puffy eyes. Sakura, it's… Sasuke, shut up. This startled Sasuke a little. Sakura was scolding him. You can't say it's alright. It's my fault. If I didn't do that to him, he'd never have left. Sasuke objected, knowing the consequence. Sakura, I'm not saying you didn't do anything, but I had my share too, as well as Konoha itself, okay? But Sasuke, he tried so hard just to make me happy. Yet, I treated him like trash. Deciding that there was no other way to make her feel better, Sasuke did this for her sake. Sakura, I'm sorry too. If you look at the whole picture, I have no reason to be mad at you. What do you mean? Despite he didn't want to say this, Sasuke knew he had to. Sakura, I don't need to forgive you because you did nothing wrong. If I had listened to you and Naruto long ago, we wouldn't have gone through this. Sasuke left Sakura's apartment, knowing that they had nothing to say to each other. Cloud Village. Inside his room, Naruto had been deep in thought all night. Kabui, I'm confused. I'm sick of being unappreciated, so I left Konoha, but then what do I do? What do you mean? Tell me what you think of this situation. First of all, Kit, what made you leave? It couldn't have been just that girl. No, it wasn't just her. Was it the execution form? Not just that either. Then what else was it? Ibui, I don't belong there. I wanted to be Hokage, but I just brought the village to despair and hate. That's me, Kit. No, you're wrong. I contain you so I give them the thought of you escaping. I see, but that doesn't mean you don't get it, Kyuubi. I could never do anything right there no matter what I did. Explain. If I got stronger, I'll frighten them. If I became nicer, they'd think I'd trick them. But now that I'm gone, they could put me in the bingo book and be happy. How could they be happy? That I might die. And as for Sakura, now that Sasuke should be back, she doesn't need me anymore. There's always Toad Sennin and Slug Lady. I know they'll get over it. I'm sure they'll now I'm fine. Kyuubi sighed and asked, so how do we learn from these mistakes? I can't make bonds, people can't learn about me, or it'll be Konoha all over again. Kyuubi laid back and Naruto closed his eyes. Both went to sleep, prepared for the real beginning of their new lives. Disclaimer. I don't own Naruto or any of its characters. Cloud Village. A week later, Naruto arrived at the training grounds early, followed by Cyra. Hey Naruto. Hey Cyra. Raikage arrived with his training clothes, stunning the two ninjas. It's been almost a half month of training, so today I want to see how well you can work together. Cyra grinned, reminding Naruto much like his old self. We'll wipe the floor with you, old man. Right, Naruto. Whatever. Are you two ready? Cyra shouted, yeah, we'll beat you. Naruto got angry and said, Cyra, wait. Naruto was silenced when he received a punch in the gut from Raikage. Naruto, are you alright? Asked Cyra, shaking him while he was half conscious. Naruto raised his voice, oh, I'm just swell. Good. Then let's beat him. Naruto was pulled up by Cyra and saw her take off. Can't stop and listen, won't she? Play along with it. Following Cyra up to the Raikage, Naruto aimed for the cage's head with his fist. He ducked it, and Cyra tried to kick his wrinkled mug. Raikage blocked the kick and countered with a punch. You better not forget me. Naruto punched Raikage in the face and kicked him far. Good teamwork. Let's see more. Said Raikage, blurring seals like he did in his fight with Naruto, and formed a barrier of wind. We have to attack when you use that. Shouted Naruto. What did I tell you about offensive and defensive? The barrier turned into a vortex and began sucking up debris and other things on the floor. Don't get pulled in, Cyra. The Raikage smirked and asked, ever been shot before? The vortex filled with debris aimed at Naruto, as though attempting to snipe him. Locked onto Naruto, the vortex shot out the debris like a pistol and hit Naruto with full impact. Naruto. Cyra was running around Naruto's cheesy body. The Raikage currently put a genjutsu on Cyra to make her believe Naruto had bullet holes in his body. Come on, I taught you better than that. Said the Raikage, directing at Cyra. Focusing chakra in his arm, the Raikage sliced the air, sending a shuriken that looked and were as fast as shockwaves. As the shuriken approached Cyra, her eyes went from yellow to purple again. Pulling out a kunai, Cyra, at incredible speed, reflected the shuriken back at the Raikage. But the final shuriken coming, Cyra didn't have time to dodge it when Naruto used a kunai his own to defend her. I thought we were working as a team. Cyra's eyes reverted back to yellow, of course. Sorry about that. Raikage was finished neutralizing the ricocheted shuriken and said, if you're tiered already, you two have a long way to go. He charged the same electric Rasengan he did in Naruto's fight, but this time, the Raikage had a clone that helped create a larger energy ball. Naruto had two options: use a Rasengan and fail miserably trying to top the Raikage's attack, or he can create two shadow clones and lose anyway. Naruto didn't have enough chakra for an Adama Rasengan, so he asked Kyuubi, so what? Surrender. What do I do? Sorry, you can't use my chakra without revealing yourself as a Jinchuruki, so you're screwed. Cyra grinned and shouted, no problem. Naruto. Are you trying to get us killed? I have a plan. We're both low on chakra. Let's combine our attacks. Cyra then thought, maybe it'll work if I don't use it. Cyra charged an electric ball in her palm and shouted, Mitsubachi Orb. Naruto started charging his Rasengan, and Cyra charged her Mitsubachi Orb. Kyuubi was slapping his forehead screaming, you can't combine chakra. She would have to have chakra of similar properties. When the two put their energies together, a bright orange orb formed. It's worth a shot. Shouted Naruto. Cyra and Naruto smirked. Kyuubi was staring at the energy ball through Naruto's eyes saying, I'll be damned. Naruto and Cyra charged at Raikage in their last attempt. The three collided and the scenery looked like a thunderstorm. Naruto and Cyra were blown back to the wall and Raikage the same. Cyra funny I'm going to watch her. After an explosion and blinding light, the two saw the Raikage above them. Never get cocky kids. Cyra stuck out her tongue at the Raikage like a stubborn brat. Despite Naruto was sitting against the wall, Cyra soon noticing her head was leaning on Naruto's chest. She jumped up and blushed a dark red shade. Sorry. Didn't notice that. It won't happen again. Naruto restrained his blush, it's alright. Raikage got their attention and said, I'm disappointed. You two couldn't even relieve half my chakra. Looks like this will take a while, despite Cyra has been my student for half a year. At least I didn't use Kyuubi, thought Naruto. Before you two go, I have one more thing to say. Said the Raikage frowning. Naruto and Cyra turned around before stepping out to hear the Raikage. I'm sure you all know this but, unlike this fight between us, it's kill or die out in the battlefield. You can't hold back. See you both tomorrow at 7. Great teamwork Naruto. Do you want to go eat something? Sorry, I'm going home, see ya. Cyra frowned seeing Naruto walk away and thought, does he know? I hope not. Konoha, Sakura, Sasuke, and the old rookie 9 had a meeting with the council. We have a problem with your bingo book. Shouted Kiba. Akamaru started growling. What's the meaning of this? Asked Niji. One old man from the council stood up and said, he's a missing nin. But he's no threat. Shouted Sasuke picking up and swinging his arm to the side. The man chuckled and said, I don't know if any of you children heard of the law made 16 years ago, but now that the boy is gone. There's something you should all know. What's that? Asked Choji. Your so-called friend is the demon that destroyed the village. The Kyuubi. Sakura clutched her fist and shouted, Naruto is not a demon. Did he tell you that? That demon is just tricking you. Sasuke stood face to face with the man, you are one of them aren't you? What do you mean? You're one of the people who lost relatives to the demon, you just have some grudge against Naruto. The man smirked and Sasuke picked him up by the shirt, you don't care about Naruto. You have the opportunity to get rid of him and you're doing this? Bastard. Who put you in charge? That doesn't matter Uchiha. Now if you don't put me down I'll call the Ambu and they'll place you in a jail cell. You're lucky to be welcomed back despite you were a missing nin. The group started outside when the man said, and one more thing. If any of you happen to see the boy during the mission and let him free, you will be trialed under treason. Then what are we supposed to do? Asked Sasuke looking half insane. He rested his chin on top of his two folded hands and said, kill him. Sasuke screamed in anger and charged at Chidori, charging at the man. Knocking Sasuke unconscious, 3 Ambu, as said took Sasuke to the cells. Anyone else? The group left the room and went outside, Sakura broke down to cry. Naruto can't come back. Disclaimer. I don't own Naruto or any of its characters only then. Naruto arrived early as usual to the training grounds and strangely saw Cyra sitting up in a tree branch. Oh hi Naruto. Shouted Cyra waving. Cyra's point of view. Naruto leaned against the same tree Cyra was on and silence fell again. Maybe I should talk to him, he's been so quiet lately. Cyra jumped down and asked, what's bugging you? Nothing. Do I look troubled? Yeah you do. You've been frowning all week. Naruto faked a smile and said, no I haven't. Look. Cyra grinned and said, don't lie to me, that's fake. He's going to ignore you. Said a strange voice. Leave me alone please. Naruto smiled for some reason or another, a genuine smile, and replied, okay then. There, I smiled. Naruto's point of view. You know, she kind of reminds me of you kid. Yeah right, I meant before you became a hard ass. Whatever. Cyra decided to seize the opportunity to ask Naruto out since he's in a good mood. Hey Naruto, maybe we can go eat after class. Would you like to? Again? It's getting hard to keep her out. Sorry Cyra, I got plans today. Cyra's point of view. Cyra felt like sulking on the inside. I've tried for the past 2 weeks, he still won't say yes, I should just give up. He's just one of those villagers. They reject you and push you away. Said the same strange voice tauntingly. I don't think Naruto is like that, he wasn't like this the first week we started training, he asked me out that week. Cyra, I'm really sorry. I just can't. Okay then. That's alright. Said Cyra putting on a grin that scared the Kyuubi. Naruto's point of view. Whoa, did you notice that? Naruto scratched his head, man Fox you're right. She is like my old self. The Raikage entered the grounds and shouted, alright you two, today we're not going to do chakra practice. I want to see how you two develop these past 2 weeks. Sparring time. Cyra and Naruto were used to the Raikage's attitude of getting straight to the point, in this case, get the fight started as quickly as possible. They stood in the center of the arena a couple of meters away from each other. I hope I don't hurt him, Nibi's awake today, thought Cyra nervously. Naruto got into fighting stance and Cyra as well. Begin. Shouted Raikage lowering his arms. Cyra started by throwing shuriken at Naruto which he dodged easily. I can help you beat him. Said the voice anxiously. Cyra started sweating in fear, no. Stay out of my head. I don't need your help. Naruto landed a punch and his eyes widened, thinking that Cyra would block or dodge it. "Cyra, are you alright?" "Why yes, Naruto." Cyra slowly got up and charged at Naruto, faster than usual. "No. I can do this by myself. I don't want your help." Naruto didn't see Cyra coming up quickly and she successfully landed a punch in his face. "I didn't ask if you wanted it. Stop it. Leave me alone. You can't do anything without me." Slowly, Cyra closed her eyes and clutched her head in agony. "Kuzo. Get out. Get out. Here I come." Opening her eyes, they were purple instead of her regular yellow again. Her nails grew a little longer, maybe an inch, and had small fangs. Naruto noticed her weird features and thought, "Kyuubi, you said something strange was with her, besides being similar to me. I think you've been like this for 2 weeks, except this time I sense her chakra stronger than usual. I think that." Cyra uppercut Naruto into the air and then kicked him back down. Spitting out some blood, Naruto asked, "What's with you?" The Raikage wasn't interrupting the fight because he knew the problem with Cyra, since he was the one who found her in the ruins of the shore village. And also, ever since Naruto stepped into the Cloud Village, he sensed a Bijuu's power inside him. "I'll leave you two to your business," said the Raikage, leaving the training grounds. Naruto was shocked, pissed, confused and realized the sly old man must have knew. "Don't put your guard down," shouted Cyra, charging her Mitsubachi Thunderball. Naruto charged his Rasengan and jumped in the air to Cyra. Their attacks collided and both sprang back to their original positions. "I figured it out. I had doubts, but now I'm positive." Naruto nodded in his head and said, "Same here in Unaishin." Both Kyuubi and Naruto said, "She's another Jinchuruki. So should I help you, kid?" "No, Kyuubi, it's alright. Just heal me if I'm wounded. I don't sense a strong Bijuu in her." "You're right, it's either the second or the third-tailed Bijuu. But then I don't see any chakra tail, so the seal on her must be holding most of the energy in." "Get going." Cyra landed on the floor and started throwing punches and kicks to Naruto. After the second punch and the third kick, Naruto blocked Cyra's next attack and countered with a close tackle, sending her a couple yards away. "Haju, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," shouted Naruto, forming 20 clones. Cyra smirked and charged at the clones alone. Her claws grew 2 more inches and she started slashing at the clones, one by one. 2 clones charged Rasengans and zoned into Cyra. "That's getting old." Cyra ducked the moment the Rasengan was going to hit her and shoved her nails into the clones' stomachs. All the clones were now gone and Cyra started up to Naruto. Trying another uppercut, Cyra missed and attempted a kick. Naruto leaped into the air, dodging the kick. The tree behind Naruto was sent off its roots and Naruto could only picture what would happen if it connected. Cyra disappeared from her current position and Naruto looked around for her in the air, expecting her to come from behind like she usually did. "I'm coming up." Cyra this time leaped from under Naruto and slashed at his head. Stopping the flow of chakra keeping him up, Naruto barely dodged the swipe and noticed Cyra was able to cut some of his hair off. "Those nails are sharper than kunai." Landing back on the floor, Naruto realized they were back where they started, Cyra in the air and him on the ground. Naruto created a clone and they both charged a Rasengan in their hand, putting them together. Cyra started blurring hand seals, "Thunder Spear," she shouted. Cyra flung her arms in Naruto's direction, as though throwing shuriken. But instead, a lightning bolt raced to Naruto and his clone. Dodging them at quick speeds while still keeping the Adama Rasengan intact, Naruto jumped toward Cyra, thrusting the Rasengan up. Cyra put both of her arms back and aimed at Naruto's Rasengan. Then flinging her arms at Naruto, 5 lightning bolts homed in and stopped Naruto's Rasengan, as well as his clone. Now open, Naruto felt Cyra pounding him down to the earth. With a kickdown similar to the Naruto Renden, Cyra knocked Naruto into the floor, making a crater. Opening his eyes, Naruto could see Cyra coming in for the death blow. "You sure about this, kid? If you die so do I." "It's alright, Kyuubi. I'm sure." And Cyra's head. Cyra was trying to close the hole in the cage from which the demon was controlling her. "Stop it. You're going to kill him. I'll give you power to destroy him. Take revenge." "What revenge? Stop playing tricks with me. Get out of my head." In reality, Cyra was at 2 meters away from Naruto and started to lose consciousness. Landing on the floor and clutching her head, Cyra's eyes reverted to yellow. "Naruto? Where are you?" asked Cyra, looking around the arena frantically. "Kid, are you alright? Yeah, heal me, okay? I need to rest for a moment." Walking over to the crater, Cyra could see Naruto bruised and there were traces of blood in the crater. "Oh my god, where's the Raikage?" Cyra jumped in the crater and pulled Naruto out of the hole. "Naruto, get up. Get up. I didn't do this." Cyra started crying and shaking Naruto's shoulders, attempting to wake him up. "Nibi, let me live a normal life," whispered Cyra to herself. Kyuubi had been listening in on Cyra despite Naruto was knocked out cold. "I knew it." Cyra heard the Raikage returning and fled, trying to hide her tears. The Raikage sat next to Naruto and waited patiently for him to wake up and surely enough, in 10 minutes, Naruto was screaming and running around. Where the hell did Cyra go? Raikage laughed and asked, did you figure it out, Naruto? What out? Cyra's secret, of course. You knew all along, didn't you, old man? Why didn't you help her? Asked Naruto, frowning. I have my reasons, and yes, I know about Cyra's demon. This has been happening recently. I will have to tell you the story later. Why later? Asked Naruto angrily. Don't you have someone to talk to right now? Cyra, where could she be? Thanks, Raikage, I got to go find her. Nodding, the Raikage walked away and Naruto ran to find Cyra. In the town center, there is a tall clock tower on which Cyra was looking up to the moon. While sobbing, she said, I can't believe I couldn't control it. The clock struck 8 and a star shone in the sky. I might have hurt Naruto. From behind her, Naruto sat down next to her and said, it's alright, Cyra, you just knocked me out temporarily. Before he could finish, Cyra pulled him down and hugged, no wait, strangled him. Naruto. You're okay. Cyra started sobbing on Naruto's chest, making him feel awkward. It's okay. Calm down. How could you have lived? I almost killed you. It's okay. The Raikage had medical nins. You're not in trouble. Said Naruto, lying. You're not mad, scarred, hurt. No. I'm fine. You fought great. Hearing, you fought great made Cyra cry louder and cling to Naruto louder. Some villagers were gazing from the ground up to the clock tower, wondering what happened. I'm sorry, I said that, Cyra. It's my fault. Cyra sobbed louder. Naruto didn't care if he was like Shikamaru and thought, damn, this is troublesome. Then, remembering the morning talk he had with Cyra, he said, it's okay. Let me take you for some ramen. Cyra started to calm down and asked half loud and half soft, I thought you had things to do. Naruto had to think up an excuse and said, my friends come first. That sounded like his old self. At the ramen stand, Naruto was on his 6th bowl and asked, so how much have you eaten yet? I'm starting my 6th. Said Cyra, slurping up some noodles as though it is the last of them on earth. What? 6th? But I'm on my 6th. Don't lie to me. The shopkeeper of the ramen stand went up and said, your bill. On the paper it wrote, 4 bowls of chicken ramen, 4 bowls of vegetable ramen, and 4 bowls of fish ramen. Naruto blinked and looked at Cyra, who just put down her 6th bowl. What's wrong, Naruto? Don't have money. I have plenty of money, but oh, so a girl can't eat as much as a boy. No. It's that I thought no one could eat as much as me. Cyra looked over to a sign hanging outside and said, you're on. On what? Asked Naruto, looking around. Read that sign, Naruto. The sign outside said, in 15 days, ramen eating contest. Anyone who wants to apply must sign. Only 10 may participate. Naruto smirked and said, that's a fool's contest. I'll wipe the floor with you. And I'm signing up too. Said Cyra, smiling. After paying the bill, Naruto and Cyra both paid the fee to register. Naruto paid for Cyra too. Well, I'm broke, said Naruto, sitting on a bench. Cyra sat next to him and said, thanks for taking me out. I didn't ask you out. We just ate together. Naruto went off subject and asked, so Cyra, where did you get so much power? Even though Naruto very well knew where Cyra got her energy from, he wanted to hear it directly from her, and if she tells him, he'll tell her he's a Jinchuriki too. Naruto, can I tell you some other time when I know you better? Well, said Naruto teasingly. I'm sorry. It's just that I am worried if I tell you, you trust me, right? Naruto grinned and replied, of course I trust you. I can wait. Cyra smiled and got off the bench. Naruto looked at Cyra, and for a minute or so, they just stood there looking at each other. Naruto could see that Cyra was blushing because there was a streetlight brightening up the place. Naruto, said Cyra, sitting back down. Yeah, what is it? Asked Naruto, grinning. Cyra kissed Naruto on the cheek quickly and said, thank you, Naruto-kun. Cyra continued blushing and grinning at the same time, making Naruto do the same. I'm glad the Nibi is out of my head right now. Thought Cyra. And as she walked away, Naruto thought, what did I do for her? Kyuubi was laughing in Naruto's head, teasing him, haha. Lucky son of a shut it fox. Arriving at his house, Naruto said to Kyuubi, I'm going to talk to the Raikage about Cyra and see how we can help. Her demon comes out randomly, maybe we can fix that. In Konoha, next morning, Rookie 9 all went to the jail cells and picked up Sasuke, who had just woken up. Never do that again, okay? Said Tsunade. I had to pull strings to get you out this early, attempt of murder. Geez, Sasuke. They expect us to kill Naruto. I don't blame Sasuke for trying to kill that geezer. Shouted Kiba. Doji gulped down some chicken and asked, what are we going to do about this? Ino put up her fist and said, I say we have a petition to take Naruto of the bingo book. That's too troublesome, that would take months, and there's not even a 50 chance that we'll make it pass. Guess who said that? An entire argument fell upon the group, all except Hinata, Sakura, Shino, Mace and Choji. Everyone shut the hell up. Shouted Tsunade. Listen, I need you all in the Hokage's living tower in an hour. Did you see how that rhymed? What for? Asked Sakura. I already sent a message to the Sand, Wave and Snow Country telling them about Naruto's dismissal through a messenger falcon. We'll have a reply soon. But I need to speak with all of you on how we'll handle this, your senseis will be there as well as Jiraiya. In my room in an hour. Before everyone split up, Hinata asked Sakura, may I talk to you until the meeting? Sakura didn't want to be rude and replied, sure. Let's go to my apartment. On the way there, Sakura asked, just what is it you want to talk about Hinata? I'm hoping you could tell me why Naruto-kun left. Sakura looked at Hinata rather scared than guilty. She wouldn't want to tell that to someone who used kun at the end of Naruto's name. Disclaimer. I don't own Naruto or any of its characters. Tables are turning. Sand Village. Era was in his office working with papers when Kankuro entered the room. God Garrett, they're still making you do paperwork. You're only 15. Smiling, Garrett said, it comes with a job. Flying through the window, a carrier pigeon held a small note. After feeding the bird, Gaara observed the message. What is it? Asked Kankuro. The sand cup on Gaara's desk exploded, almost poking Kankuro's eyes out if he hadn't shielded them with his hands. Let me the council. Shouted Gaara looking up some files. Kankuro quickly read the note and then sped out the doorway to fulfill Gaara's request. Kuzo Naruto. You better stay alive. Pulling out a file of missing nins, Gaara stormed out to the council quarters. An. Don't worry everybody, I plan to have more of the Sand Village in this chapter, keep reading and be patient. Cloud Village. Naruto and Cyra were called into the Raikage's scroll room to have a special talk. What do you think the old man wants us for Cyra? Asked Naruto with his hands behind his head. No, in all my time with him, I never was invited to the scroll room. Then maybe we'll finally be able to do something other than spar. Cyra smirked and asked, you know Naruto, only a week more till the ramen eat out, do you want to put up stakes? To Naruto, Cyra would use kun at the end of his name randomly. Come on Cyra, I don't want you to lose something. What? Are you scared you'll lose? No, I won't be pushed so easily. Are you sure? Nothing you want. Naruto smirked, well there is something I want, all the money you owe me for the 20-something bowls of ramen I paid for you. Got him? Thought Cyra. Okay Naruto-kun, if you win, I pay you back. And what if you win? I'll think of something. Cyra winked at Naruto, making him flinch. Arriving at the scroll room, Naruto and Cyra saw the Raikage in one of 3 chairs in front of a shelf filled with scrolls, big scrolls. Sitting down in the chairs, Naruto asked, okay you got our attention. The Raikage chuckled, I'm quite lucky then. Do any of you know which scrolls these are? Not a one. Said Cyra. Well these are ninjutsu and summoning scrolls. Will we be able to use them? Asked an anxious Cyra. Yes. As it seems, you two are already stronger than our village shunins and a couple of our jonins. I can't teach you my jutsus yet, but here are some scrolls that'll show you some skills many of our Ambu know. Naruto nodded and asked, yes sure but one problem. We know plenty of ninjutsu, how can we improve further? The Raikage smiled and replied, you are right. You and Cyra are good with ninjutsu as well as a bit of jinjutsu. So I will have you two learn better weaponry skills. Which ones will we use? You can pick if you want. Said the Raikage pointing at a closet. Cool. Shouted Cyra. Looking through the small room, Cyra could see boxes of kunai, drawers of swords, and rows of shuriken. But something else caught the eye. Did you find anything yet? Asked Naruto. Yeah. Coming out, Cyra was carrying a box, the size of one to carry pencils. What's in it? Opening the box, there was a pile of senbon, with a hole in each needle. What are the holes for? Asked Cyra. The Raikage said, when we start training I'll tell you. Naruto, you go. Naruto already was familiar with senbon from his fight at the Wave Country and didn't feel like he would want to use them. Also he thought that kunai and shuriken were basic weapons in a ninja's arsenal, so he observed the swords. Hey kid. Look at that one. Coming out with the sword, Naruto took it out and observed it. The shape is weird. The sword Naruto had picked was a double-edged sword, very dangerous. What's this thing? Pressing a camouflage button on the handle, Naruto had split the sword in two. Did I break it? No. The Raikage put the shafts of the 2 swords together and they snapped back in place. Oh, it looks like I can double wield with this sword. It's called Midnight's Gale. Whoa, figures. The blade seemed to emit small black with a blue stripe down the middle where it can split into 2. And the handle was gray with horizontal stripes. We're going to have fun with this one. Said Kyuubi anxiously. Naruto placed the blade in its shaft, put on a belt, and strapped the blade to it. The Raikage smiled and said, last thing is each of you get to pick one summoning scroll. Find the one which suits. Before he could finish, Cyra was taking scrolls off the shelf, studying them, and then throwing them behind her back, making a pile of ones she liked. Be careful with those, said the Raikage nervously. Naruto stepped up to observe some scrolls and Cyra threw in behind her head and it connected with Naruto's forehead. Naruto fell back and the Raikage said, I suggest you wait your turn, remembering that was already under a summoning contract and thought, I'm going to have to use my other hand. Suddenly, Cyra poked in between the two and shouted, found it. It's a falcon. Naruto felt his ears burst and silently said, that's great Cyra. Raikage opened the scroll, and Cyra wrote her name and blood on the scroll, on which 7 people have signed also in the past. Nice choice. The falcons are reliable and easy to tame, specialize in speed obviously. Awesome. So what do I do? Well Cyra, first you bring blood to the thumb on which you signed the contract with. Then you must do the hand seals of Inu, Ryu, and Tori. Last of all, shout summoning no jutsu while pressing your hand down, and you're due. Cyra had already started to try out her summon. Shouting summoning no jutsu, Cyra's hands became shrouded in smoke. Coming out was a small bird the size of a pigeon. What happened? Asked Cyra moping. Naruto laughed, having experienced it before and said, don't worry Cyra, you just summoned a baby bird. That's all. Cyra picked up the bird and held it close to her. He's cute. Too bad he can't fight. Suddenly, the bird flew on Cyra's head and shouted, I'm going to get strong. Like my mom and dad. Cyra put down the bird, patted its head, and said, when you can fight. I'll be sure to summon you. What's your name? My name's Taringo. And we bird spirits grow fast. By next year I'll be big. Cyra started patting and scratching the bird. Hey. Cut that out. The bird resisted, making Cyra giggle. I'm Cyra. See you later. Dismissing the bird, Cyra stood up and asked, alright Naruto, your turn to pick. Already did. This one seems strong. Tigers. Naruto showed the scroll to the Raikage. Opening the scroll, Naruto's jaw dropped when he saw that only 2 people had signed it before. What's up with this old man? Is there another one of these scrolls that others use? No Naruto, only one person has used that summoning before. What about the second one? The second couldn't handle the summoning. What? Are you sure this is your choice Naruto? After thinking a long time, Naruto frowned and said, I'll give it a try. Quickly, the Raikage said, okay, but we do this outside. Konoha. Sakura entered Hinata's apartment nervously and stood up, waiting for a chance to leave. Hinata came back from the kitchen and said, please sit down Sakura. Before Hinata took a seat next to Sakura, she saw a photo on the wall, smiled and quickly reflected on that day. Flashback, duh. AN. PLZ, before you read what's next, read the first paragraph of my AN at the beginning of this chapter. Naruto and Hinata were at a restaurant and have just finished eating, still at the table though. Naruto-kun thanks for the dinner. Said Hinata. Naruto seemed happy, but Hinata could tell he was having conflicts on the inside. Is anything wrong? I'm fine listen Hinata. Yes, Naruto-kun. Hinata-chan I want to say thanks for always believing in me. Oh well. Wait Hinata. It's that you were the first to actually notice me, to accept me, to acknowledge me and for that, I can't do anything to show how thankful I am, but what Naruto-kun? Sakura I can't forget her. Naruto-kun, it's alright. Hinata was on the verge of tears, but at that moment, Naruto hugged Hinata and said, Hinata-chan, I want you to know that you'll never be second best. I can never put you on a scale and judge you. After all this I love you as the sister I never had, and I hope you can consider me your brother I'm sorry. Hinata, despite knowing she can't be with Naruto, she knew he considered her great. She knew he acknowledged her and cared for her. That was enough for her. Naruto-kun I consider you a sibling as well. Don't be sorry. I understand. Naruto smiled and said, thank you Hinata-chan. On the way back to Hinata's house, Naruto could see a man who takes photos and paid him to take one of he and Hinata. When the two reached Hinata's place, Naruto said slyly, you know I'm sure Kiba would like to date you. Hinata grinned and said, I'll give him a shot. Good night Hinata-chan. Good night Naruto-kun. The two hugged one more time and parted. Then flashback, the picture showed Naruto and Hinata together smiling under a tree which had birds in it. Returning back to reality, Hinata said, Sakura please, tell me why Naruto left Konoha. Hinata, I don't want to say. Please Sakura you are the only one I know who could understand. Hinata as you know, the village hates Naruto. They treated him like dirt and all he tried to do was help others. I wonder how he got Sasuke to return after he left said Hinata. Opting to loose the subject on Naruto's leaving, Sakura said, yes, Orochimaru, according to Sasuke, was weak for using most of his energy to prepare for entering Sasuke. Yes Sakura, but Naruto-kun endured the villagers for all his life. I'm not saying that he didn't want to stay because of them, but I believe there was something more. Naruto always had something to love about this place. Sakura was in a tight spot. Slowly the truth was coming out. Hinata, may we talk another time? Please Sakura, I need to know. She can't hold it in, Sakura had to tell her, she had the right to know. Hinata, the day Naruto returned from the Sasuke retrieval mission. Do you remember? Of course. I was mad that we couldn't bring Sasuke back. On the mission Naruto injured Sasuke and yet he still got away. Did Naruto leave to find Sasuke? No Hinata. You know that Naruto would have come back with Sasuke if he left for that reason. Then why? It's my fault. Hinata stood confused, dumbfounded. I'm sorry Sakura I didn't catch that. Hinata Naruto tried to help, he got me a gift. I was naive and thought Naruto was the same stupid kid he used to be and I destroyed his present. I knocked him down. Hinata didn't take time to register what Sakura said, using her gentle fist attack style. Hinata slapped Sakura across the cheek and shouted, "Naruto was never stupid, you bitch." Sakura spat out blood and touched her cheek, healing it in the process. "You're the stupid one, Sakura. You went with the flow of girls who drooled over the traitor Sasuke. Through which you never cared to see how great other people were. Naruto loved you and in return you hurt him." Sakura took another hit from Hinata. She deserved it. For all Sakura knew, she was probably going to slap herself later. "You never treat someone like that. You were Naruto's special person he'd do anything for and you crushed him." Spitting out more blood, Sakura healed her wound and Hinata shoved a napkin into her. "Oh now. The meeting starts in 45 minutes." Sakura left and ran up to her apartment crying. When inside her home, Sakura cried under her pillow until she was too dry to let out tears. The clock showed there was only 5 more minutes until the meeting will begin. Looking in the mirror, she thought, "I don't deserve to cry and there's nothing else to say." Hinata said it all. Taking the stress of her face with medical ninjutsu, Sakura looked regular again and left her apartment. Sand Village. The council of the sand were shuffling papers around when Kankuro ran in and handed a folder to the leader of the council. Right when he finished reading, Gaara entered with 3 sand ninjas, one of which was Temari. "Hazuki Izama, is the Naruto spoken of here the Jinchuruki of the Leaf Village?" "Yes, he's been missing for around a month now. He also killed Orochimaru, the S-class missing nin." Everyone in the room started talking and one asked, "Do you know what this means?" Gaara for once was clueless and shook his head. The leader stood up and said, "Kazuki Izama, the Akatsuki who attacked you a year ago, they can overthrow the village now. We and the Leaf are in danger." "Why is that now?" asked Gaara nervously. "If you know, one of the reasons the Akatsuki haven't overthrown the Leaf is because they hold a Jinchuruki, but now they don't anymore." "Then why don't they attack our village?" "Because we are allies with the Leaf." "So what does this have to do with Orochimaru?" "The Akatsuki have been struggling with Orochimaru for room to attack villages. Because Orochimaru was alive, he would interfere with their plans." "Do you know where any Jinchuruki remain?" Hazuki Izama said, a council member in charge of connections with other villages. "Yes, what is it?" "As it seems, the Akatsuki have destroyed the small village of the shore earlier this year, shortly after your rescue. Then they also attacked the village of the forest." "What does this have to do with anything?" asked Kankuro. "There are 2 things. 1. If the Akatsuki learn of Naruto's absence, they may attack the village." "What's the other?" "If the Akatsuki wanted to overthrow the village, they would need a strong weapon, which brings us to the second theory. 2. The Akatsuki have taken your Ichibi Shukaku demon Gaara, so chances are that they attack the other villages to obtain more Jinchuruki. We believe they're missing 3 of the Jinchuruki. One of which is Naruto's Biju." Gaara sat down and said, "Then first priority, alert the Leaf. Second, I want the missing in action book updated to have Naruto Uzumaki in it from the Leaf. And third, we need to do research on where the 3 other Jinchuruki may be so we can protect them. As well, of course Naruto is one of them." All the council nodded in agreement and already started working on their assigned plan. "This may stir up a war," said Gaara. "Brother, do you think we should visit the Leaf?" Gaara closed his eyes and said, "Temari, you and Kankuro will be able to go to the Leaf, but I must stay here and protect the village if attacked." "But do you really think they'd attack us?" Gaara chuckled, "I'm not taking any chances." "How long do you think it would take them to gather up another Biju?" asked Kankuro. "I would estimate around it takes many months to capture just one Biju." "Do you think they'd get Naruto?" asked Temari worriedly. "If Naruto stays a missing ninja, yes, I hope otherwise." "When do we head to the Leaf?" "You'll be picked up by Konoha ninjas and be escorted to the Leaf. I'm going to my office to send a messenger bird." Earlier in Konoha, Sakura made it right on time to Tsunade's room and before she could enter, Tsunade said, "Whatever is said in this room stays in the room or you might be killed. Understand?" Sakura nodded and entered the room. The whole gang was inside murmuring and when Sakura entered, they silenced. "Alright everybody, this meeting must be held secret because I'm doing this against the council's permission. As you all know, it's the Hokage who assigns missions." Everyone nodded in approval. "Well, I plan to pair each of you up with one person and each will be sent to an ally country of the Leaf. The council plans to put Naruto in the bingo book, but we can go to our allies and have them put Naruto under missing in action. Then there will be a greater chance of Naruto's survival." "What are the pairings?" asked Ino. "Okay, first of all Sasuke and Tenten, you 2 are headed to the Wave Village. Niji and Ino, you 2 are headed to the Star Village. Choji and Shino, you 2 are headed to the Waterfall Village. Kiba, Hinata, you go to the Rain Village. Sakura and Lee, you go to the Snow Village. The snow, despite having no ninja, could be a good place for refuge if we go under enemy attack. Last of all, Mace and Shikamaru, you 2 must head to the sand and pick up a couple of sand nin, as well as speak to the Kazukiage." "Is that all?" asked Shino. "No, wait a moment. He'll arrive." Suddenly appearing in a puff of smoke, a man with spiky white hair and an unusual headband said, "I'm here." So Jiraiya, what's going on? Has the contract been acting up lately? No, Naruto's smarter than I thought. He knows I can figure out where he is if he summons a frog. Who is this? Asked Neji. Oh, I'm sorry. This here is Naruto's old sensei, a Sannin. Everyone gaped in amazement, wondering how Naruto could have obtained a Sannin for a sensei. Hello everyone, I'm Jiraiya. Sakura was already familiar with him, but the others were still observing. Jiraiya shrugged and said, all you kids, I got something for all of you. Jiraiya took out the contract for summoning and did a jutsu to create small pocket orbs. Each of you take one. What are these things for? They're no weapon. Said Tenten. They're more like device to track Naruto. The orbs shined blue and then Neji said, it's locking on to Naruto's blood signature. You used the Naruto's blood used for the contract you're holding. Jiraiya nodded and said, exactly. You see, when that orb shines blue, you aren't even close to Naruto. When it shines red, Naruto is nearby. Jiraiya then chuckled, and if it's yellow, you'd be stupid not to see him. Everyone strapped the orb to their belts, and then Tsunade said, that's all there is to talk about. You are all dismissed. Outside, Mace left into an alley and summoned a messenger bird. Taking off the orb from his belt, Mace smirked and tied it to the bird. After attaching a note to the bird's foot that he wrote a while ago, Mace said to himself, the Akatsuki could use this to find the boy. Cloud Village. Raikage found a safe place to test Naruto's new summoning animal. They reached their training grounds, and Naruto signed the scroll. Careful Naruto, this summoning is dangerous. The first person who tried to summon the tigers were accepted, but when the second one tried to pass the test, we had to rebuild the scroll room. How was the first guy like? Asked Naruto. He was stubborn. No one really knows how he got the good side of the tigers. As I said, old man, I'll do my best. Doing the hand seals of Nezumi, Ohitsuji, Asubuta and Tora, Naruto shouted, summoning no jutsu. Rat, ram, boar, and tiger. Before the smoke could clear, Naruto heard an ear-shattering roar. After clasping his ears together, Naruto was tackled by a red blur and hit a tree behind him. What the hell? Shouted Naruto, spitting out some blood. Walking up to him, an average-sized, red tiger with silver stripes growled and asked, are you the one who summoned me? Yeah, who are you? Asked Naruto, brushing off some dust from his clothing. My name's Liger. The Raikage stepped up to Naruto, but was stopped when Naruto said, whatever happens, don't help me. Nodding, the Raikage took Cyra a couple of meters away, a distance enough for Naruto to be comfortable. Alright, I'll summon you some other time. Said Naruto, taking a deep breath. Before he could finish, Liger pounced on Naruto and opened his mouth as though about to bite him and said, I'm not going anywhere until you can prove that you're good enough to summon me. Naruto threw Liger off of him and asked, what do I need to do? You need to defeat me. Far away, Cyra asked, what's going on? Naruto is being tested. But why? I didn't have to go through any test. Naruto's summoning is different than yours, Cyra. Some summoning spirits have standards, and others don't. Liger lunged at Naruto and stretched his claw out. Striking Naruto in the arm, Liger knocked him away. Healing the wound with Kyuubi's chakra, Naruto stood back up and charged a Rasengan. Liger pounced on Naruto again and whispered, no help from the fox. Oh shit. Well, now took me long enough. If I haven't said this yet, I will say it now. I am having writer's block for my other two fanfictions. Disclaimer. I don't own Naruto or any of its characters. Cloud Village. How do you know about Kyuubi? Asked Naruto. Don't be stupid. Spirits can identify chakra, and yours was flooded with demon chakra. How am I supposed to beat you then? By yourself. Liger got off of Naruto and said, you have 10 seconds to prepare yourself. Naruto took a deep breath, stood up, and Liger shouted, start. Page Bunshin no Jutsu. Shouted Naruto, summoning 20 clones to the field. Starting with close-range combat, the Naruto's clones attempted to land punches or kicks while trying to avoid Liger's slashes and pouncing. Where could he be? Thought Liger, sniffing while dodging attacks, found him. Liger dodged the next attack and lunged to the right, swiping at Naruto's cheek. Ah! Naruto clutched his cheek but was knocked away by Liger, who had headbutted him in the stomach. How'd you know it was me? My nose tracked you. I can't believe I won't be able to heal you. It's alright, I'll do my best. Naruto leaped away from Liger and started tossing shuriken at him. Pathetic, those don't work against me. Naruto watched in shock as Liger breathed deeply in and then roared as loud as he could, sending shockwaves that served as a shield, which stopped the shuriken in mid-flight. Resorting to his kunai, Naruto this time had his plan thought out. Page Bunshin no Jutsu. He shouted once more, bringing 3 more clones. Each taking 3 kunai and wrapping an explosive tag around it, the clones surrounded Liger, who at the time showed no fear, thus pissing off Naruto. Take this. Shouted all 4 Narutos in unison. The shuriken collided and exploded. When the dust cleared though, Liger was nowhere to be found. Naruto then heard, thunder tackle. Rising from under Naruto, Liger, shining like a bolt of electricity, hit Naruto's jaw much like Naruto did in his fight versus Neji in the Chunin exams. Flying into the air, Naruto regained balance, and now that both he and Liger were in mid-air, Naruto charged chakra in his palm. Using the airwalk technique, Naruto stuck in the air upside down and prepared to snap Liger. Liger was taken by surprise and Naruto shouted, "Vulcan Rasengan." Apparently, Naruto remembered his team-up fight he had with Cyra against the Raikage and how he used a special wind movement to fire debris like a cannon. But Naruto fired smaller versions of the Rasengan rapidly, as though his hand was a machine gun. After some mini Rasengans made contact with Liger, Naruto barely had any more chakra and decided to preserve it for later. Liger lay on the arena floor and seemed to be knocked out by Naruto's attack. "I may not know how to use the sword, but I can think of a way to use it." Pulling the sword from its shaft, Naruto was still standing upside down in midair. Then, pushing himself and sticking Midnight's Gale down, Naruto came falling like a sharp icicle. Before he could stab Liger's leg, which he intended to do, not kill him, Liger dodged the attack and Naruto's sword got stuck in the ground. Not paying attention to Liger and too busy trying to take out his sword, Naruto was slashed in the elbow. Naruto was able to click the handles button and take half of the sword out of the ground. "Kit. Let me heal you. No Kyuubi. I'll loose." Before Naruto could say any more, Liger pounced on him, put his face close to Naruto's, and roared loudly. Naruto was now deaf and couldn't hear what was going on, and the only one he could talk to was Kyuubi. "Watch out." Naruto was picked up by the shirt with Liger's teeth and was thrown into the air. Liger jumped up after Naruto with his mouth wide open to bite. "Here we go." As Liger was about to bite him, Naruto was able to get better grip of his sword and thrust it so that way Liger clenched onto the sword. In mid-air, unable to pull Midnight's Gale out of Liger's mouth, Naruto still couldn't hear and also was kicked into the ground by the psychopath tiger, who fell on his feet safely. Naruto used the half of Midnight's Gale still stuck in the ground to lift himself up. Liger raced up to him with the other half of the sword in his mouth. Naruto picked up his half and then the two collided. If Naruto could hear, there would have been a loud clang. Heard. Then at that instant, Liger disappeared. Still deaf from Liger's roar, Naruto couldn't hear where the tiger was coming from and then, "Got you?" murmured Liger, who had his teeth sunk into Naruto's right shoulder. "Ah!" shouted Naruto, spilling some blood. Liger let go his grip and then tackled Naruto once more. Now on the floor, Naruto sat up on his knees, trying to get some breath. Liger kept knocking Naruto down with his paw and head saying, "Get up." "I quit," said Naruto, slamming his palm into the ground, dismissing Liger. Before the tiger left in a puff of smoke, he said, "Quitters always loose." Naruto collapsed on the floor and Cyra rushed to his side. "Naruto-kun. It's alright, just get me a medical nin." Naruto then faded into his mind. "Kit. I'm gonna start healing you." "No, that'll blow my cover. You must have balls to refuse this. You might die." "I'm gonna ignore you." Naruto could hear Kyuubi babbling idiotic things like, "You could have my real treatment right now. Don't come to me when you wake up in a hospital half dead again. Listen to me." With that, Naruto passed out. In the Wave Village, 2 days later, Sasuke and Tenten arrived at the new bridge to the Wave Village. On their way, Sasuke noticed that the bridge was painted orange and a small stone with writing on it was in the center of the bridge entrance. "What's it say?" asked Tenten. "It says, this bridge not only built a path to the future of the village, but also a path between the villagers to bond. We named this bridge after Uzumaki Naruto. He's shown us there are still heroes in the world. Naruto." Sasuke and Tenten looked in awe as they saw the name of the bridge above, the Great Naruto Bridge. "And that's a great name," said Sasuke, smiling softly. "Would you have ever said that 3 years ago?" asked Tenten. "No, but now I would. I never really knew him." "Uchiha Sasuke. Is that you?" shouted a man walking up to them. "Who are you?" "It's me. Tsunade. Where are the others?" "Sorry old man, it's just us." "Oh okay. Who's this pretty woman?" asked Tsunade, smirking. Sasuke smiled nervously. "She's coming along. We had to have a 2-person system. Right, let me take you to my home. You're probably looking for a place to stay the night." Nodding, the two followed Tsunade across the bridge and into the village. Sasuke's jaw dropped to the floor when he saw the sight. There were stores filled with customers all over the corners, the streets were clean and filled with people, and some roads were made of bricks. Tenten's eyes went wide and she said, "Shopping might actually be fun here." "All this in 3 years?" asked Sasuke, still observing the area. "Yep. The village is thinking of building a park. How's your family? Let me show you. We own a restaurant down the corner." Entering the restaurant, Sasuke could see that it was the size of a regular house. "Hey, Grandpa!" shouted a boy from the counter. "Inari. We have visitors." "Who's Sasuke?" shouted Inari, running up to Sasuke and hugging him. "I'm your age the day you first came here," said Inari, grinning. "Yeah, that's nice. We'll be here only for today, we got work to do." "Okay, but is Naruto here?" "Inari, Naruto couldn't come this time." "Aw man. Well then tell him I said hello when you get back to your village." "Okay." Sasuke bit his lip for a moment and faked a smile. Sure, I'll tell him. Who's that? Your girlfriend? Asked Inari with a smug face. What do you know, Inari? Okay, you two, cut it. Let me show you where Tsunami is. Well, look who's here. Shouted Tsunami. Inari's mom. Glad you're here. As it turns out, Sasuke and this lady here want to see the council of this village. Oh, alright. We'll take them there later today, but first, have any of you two had lunch yet? The two shook their heads. Okay then, lunch is on the house. Cloud Village. Naruto felt his consciousness returning and was currently in Kyuubi's cage. Welcome back, Sleeping Ugly. Good to see you too, Fox. Anyway, like I said before you went out, you'll wake up in a hospital. Damn. Whatcha expect? You've been unconscious for quite a while. Nani? How long have I been out? I'd say 3 days. Nani? Naruto suddenly sprung up and found himself lying on a white bed. Yep, I'm in a hospital. Naruto looked to his left and saw Cyra sleeping on a couch. Geez. How long has she been here? Asked Naruto to himself. She comes here every afternoon. During the first day you were out, she spent the night here. Said the Raikage just entering the room. Whoa. That sounds kind of creepy. Like she was stalking me or something. I wouldn't say that. Said the Raikage smiling. Suddenly Cyra woke up and shouted, Naruto-kun. You're awake. Cyra starting looking at Naruto as though checking for injuries and said, you look fine now. Glad you're back. Thanks. We thought you were going to stay unconscious for 2 more days. You healed fast. Kyuubi. Did you do anything? Asked Naruto in his head. I healed you while everyone was asleep. Just making sure. Naruto. In 4 days the contest is up. Do you want to come eat ramen with me one more time before then? Sorry Cyra. I can't today. Alright, said Cyra sadly. You took quite a beating there. Said the Raikage. Yeah. I had to quit. Well, if that's what you wanted. Anyway, tomorrow we start training again. Oh, okay. I might have to find a new summoning. Yeah, maybe. Well, I'll see you tomorrow at the regular place. Said the Raikage leaving the door. Yeah, I'll see you too, Naruto. Said Cyra walking out the door disappointed. After leaving the hospital, Naruto went to the training grounds to sit back and think. Kyuubi, I'm coming in. Entering the cage of his mind, Naruto was immediately hit across his head by Kyuubi's tail. Ouch. What was that for? For one thing, you're being an ass. What do you mean? This is the 14th time you turned down Cyra. What do you care? Aka. Look at what's happened to you. There's nothing wrong with me. You're dumber than you used to be. I just got here and you already got an issue with me. Tell me, kid. What do you think of quitting earlier this week? What made you do that? There was no way I could win. I tried. Did you hear what you just said? Yeah. What of it? Aka. Look how you've changed. What has happened to you? For one thing, I'm stronger. Also, I'm wiser than I ever was. Yeah, right. What do you know about me? Listen, dumb ass. I've been with you all your life. I know everything that goes on in your head. Answer me. How have I changed? When you were still in Konoha you never gave up. Sure, you were a pain to put up with, but at least you weren't as stiff like Sasuke was. What? I know this is crazy coming from me, but kid, ever since you left Konoha, you've been acting differently. I rarely see any more of your old self. Yeah, but let me finish. This is the first time I've ever seen you give up. The old Naruto never would do that and would fight till he can't feel anything. What about your ninja way? I never go back on my word. That's the ninja way. I never said anything in a while, Kyuubi. Oh really, Baka? You said you'd do your best to pass the test. You quitted. Broke your ninja way. But why did you mention earlier, Cyra? When we came here, you said you wouldn't make the mistake of making bonds. And that's good. No, it isn't. Naruto, there was nothing wrong with your bonds. What was wrong were Sakura and Sasuke. You would do anything for them, but neither of them bothered to return their feelings. Sasuke was power mad and that bitch was too caught up with Sasuke and never took the time to notice you. What does that have to do with anything? What I'm trying to say is that you never made a mistake, but you're making one now. What mistake? The one Sakura and Sasuke made. Let's say Cyra was you in Konoha and you're Sakura and Sasuke from Konoha a long time ago. You're Cyra's special person who she's trying to get attention of. And you're pushing her away. Be nicer to her. Don't let her end up like you. Put the damn past behind you and it's alright, Kyuubi, you said enough. What? Thank you. Kyuubi's jaw dropped. Naruto exited his mind's confinement and headed through a street in town. It was getting dark. Hey kid, mind telling me where we're going? The Raikage once told me where Cyra is. Why are we going there? You said it yourself. I'm putting the past behind me. I'm going to ask Cyra out for tomorrow night. Finally. And tomorrow I'm going to keep my word. Tomorrow we're retaking the test. Damn straight we will. After another minute of searching, Naruto reached Cyra's apartment and knocked on the door. Hello Cyra. Are you there? Opening the door, Cyra appeared with casual clothes and seemed teared. Hey sorry Oh Naruto. said Cyra, rubbing her eyes and brushing dust of her shirt, trying to make herself look more presentable. Cyra, I'm sorry I couldn't go out to eat ramen with you tonight because I had stuff to do, but maybe tomorrow we could eat as friends," added Naruto quickly. Cyra's eyes widened and sparkled. "Sure Naruto-kun. Thanks, then see you tomorrow." "See you," said Cyra, trying to control her happiness in her. When Naruto left and Cyra entered her room, she shouted, "Yeah." On the way back to his apartment, Naruto was smiling. "Nice work, Kit. You made her happy. She is pretty." "Damn right." Disclaimer. I do not own Naruto or any of its characters. Kyuubi had noticed the sun came out and said to Naruto, "Hey kid. I know you're beat up from last night, but it'll pay off today. Lights on. Are you sure it'll help?" "It better." That took a load of chakra out of me. As Naruto entered the scroll room, he saw the Raikage walking to the disposal room. "Hey old man. Where's the tiger summoning scroll?" "Oh that. I was going to get rid of it." "You better not. I'm retaking the test." "Naruto, I can't have you in the hospital and lose another 3 days of training." Naruto gave his famous grin and said, "I'll pass this time for sure." "Believe it." The Raikage gave a confused look but then smiled in return. "Alright then. When do you plan to begin?" "Now." Back outside in the training grounds, Naruto prepared his weapons and stretched momentarily. Entering the gate, Cyra came saying, "I knew I'd find you two here." "Naruto, what are you planning to do?" "I'm going to have another try at the summoning." Cyra's eyes widened and she shouted, "Are you nuts? You'll get hurt again. I don't want to have to stay another night in the hospital waiting for you to get up again." Naruto smiled lightly at Cyra. "It's alright Cyra-chan. I promise I'll be fine." As she walked away, Cyra blushed softly and left to sit down at the edge of the training grounds. "You promised her, Kit." "Yeah I know. Good luck," said the Raikage, patting Naruto's shoulder and following after Cyra. "Alright then Kyuubi, here I go. Don't give up." "Hell if I do." Naruto bit his thumb and shouted, summoning no jutsu. Emerging from the smoke, it was Liger once more. "Came back for another beating?" "No, I came here to pass." "Believe it. Since when do you say shit like that? You quitted. That was last time. And you know nothing about me. Let's go." Naruto pulled Midnight's Gale out of his shaft. "What are you doing, idiot? You don't know how to wield a sword or a double-edged one to add." "Oh really? We begin now." Naruto charged at Liger and did a forward thrust, taking Liger off his guard and almost hit him. "How'd you learn how to wield the sword so quickly?" asked Liger, almost amazed. "That's my secret." "Alright, let's go." Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto summoned a single clone to the field and handed it half of Midnight's Gale. Strangely though, smoke didn't appear with just the clone. One Naruto charged at Liger while the other stayed at bay. "It seems you haven't learned that a frontward attack won't work against me," shouted Liger, slashing at Naruto's side. Blocking the strike with his sword, the clone replied, "No, but I did learn how to defend." Pushing Liger away, Naruto leaped back and tossed shuriken. "You just keep repeating," roared Liger, sending a sonic wave that reflected the wave of shuriken back at Naruto. The clone jumped away and reunited with Naruto. Liger started gathering chakra in his mouth and Naruto placed Midnight's Gale back together. "Light cannon," shouted Liger, sending a beam of lightning from his mouth. A little before Liger's attack, Naruto had started using his chakra to spin his blade around in a circle, and when the light cannon from Liger was about to hit, Midnight's Gale served as a shield and started to absorb the beam. How'd he learn to control his sword so quickly? And how could he have stopped one of my best attacks? Thought Liger. "You better not hold back," shouted Naruto, who started to reverse the sword's rotation. "I'm giving this back to you." Midnight's Gale had taken the energy of Liger's previous attack and shot it right back at Liger. The reflected beam crashed into the wall and destroyed part of the forest behind the wall. "Hey Kit, it's okay, I know what to do." Hidden in the dust cloud, Liger tracked Naruto and prepared to strike. "Got you," shouted the Liger, knocking Midnight's Gale off of Naruto's hands and attempting to headbutt one of the two Narutos. Before Liger's attack could connect, the two Narutos leaped high, leaving Midnight's Gale on the floor. Coming up after them, Liger shouted, "Which one of you is the real Naruto? It's 50-50. As he soared through the air, Liger slashed the closest Naruto, who just popped into smoke. "Pound you." Liger slashed at Naruto, ripping his arm to shreds, but as he did, the Naruto popped into smoke like the last. "This one's a clone too." Looking down, Liger could see the smoke had been blown away and that the real Naruto was rising with his sword, ready to attack. "Now I get it," thought Liger. Naruto had created another shadow clone while hidden from Liger in the dust. So while Liger knocked the two clones into the air and followed them up, the real Naruto stayed on the ground and waited to attack. Before Liger was cut up by Naruto, he placed his paw in front of him, having it collide with the sword. According to plan, Naruto had used only one of his hands to carry the sword and in the other he was charging chakra. Letting go of his sword, Naruto used his chakra to stay in air and shouted, "I got you." Liger saw as Naruto formed an orb of chakra in his hand, Rasengan. Now under Naruto, Liger was hit by the Rasengan from above and the wind sent him crashing through the floor. Naruto fell back down and rested on his knees, gazing at the large smoke cloud and crater with awe. Then he grasped his stomach in pain saying, I guess I still didn't fully recover from that training last night, but at least I paw. Suddenly, Liger appeared in back of Naruto, bit his arm, and said, don't be so sure. Now with blood dripping from his arms, Naruto slowly lifted himself up and picked up Midnight's Gale with his good arm. Never let your guard down, dunce, said Liger smirking in his own tiger way. How did you escape? Asked Naruto trying to stand up. I have to admit, you knocked the shit out of me and I barely made it out. But it didn't work out as planned. That was a dirty trick, you bastard. Be biting me on the arm. Nothing's fair, kid, said Liger lunging at Naruto for another attack. Naruto kept taking blows from Liger's tackles when he was asked, you can give up again. Try again later. Yeah kid, you're in no condition to continue. No. I keep my word, I said I'd do my best and this isn't cutting it. That's my ninja way. Naruto tried again to slash at Liger, who dodged it with ease and said, I can still go on, but you're almost out. Liger charged chakra in his feet, producing lightning, and shouted, light strike. Before Liger had reached him, Naruto pulled out his kunai and as Liger struck him down, Naruto sliced Liger's arm, leaving a bone-deep cut. The Raikage and Cyra rushed to the scene where Liger was struggling to stay up and Naruto was on the floor, supposedly unconscious. Naruto-kun, get up, shouted Cyra. Meanwhile, the Raikage asked Liger, what did you do? Liger laughed and said, I knocked him out cold. He'll be up in a week. Cyra wasn't listening to the conversation because she was up in her own things. Catching a glimpse of light from Cyra's hands and asked, you're using medical ninjutsu? After observing Naruto, the Raikage looked in amazement and asked, how'd you do that? Cyra smiled softly and said, last time he was knocked out, you didn't let me heal him. Even though you know about my demon, you never bothered to see what gifts of power it gives me. In this case, it gave me medical powers. The Raikage noticed Cyra started breathing heavily and asked, why would you waste so much of your energy to heal him? Cyra then blushed and quickly said, because there's a competition in 2 days and Naruto can't wake up the day it starts or he won't be ready for it. Yeah. Hey kid, that girl healed almost all your wounds. Already? Yeah, she's nice. Do me a favor, stop my unconsciousness for a minute, wake me up for a bit. I guess Naruto will have to retake the test, said the Raikage. Liger chuckled and said, oh no. The fool passed. What? Asked Cyra and the Raikage in unison. He didn't give up. He gave it his all. But he didn't beat you, said Cyra. Yeah, well, neither did the last guy who passed. He was knocked out by me too and still passed because he never gave up. You're serious? Asked the Raikage. Yes. Naruto passed, and Liger suddenly was hit in the head by a pebble from the ground by Naruto. Looking down, the three saw Naruto's eyes half open and he said, when I get the feel in my arms, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you. Liger smirked and said, yeah. Well, you left a number on my arm. I probably won't be able to fight for a while. Naruto. Everyone noticed Naruto had fell asleep and was out right after what he said to Liger. I guess I'll see you guys again, said Liger disappearing in a puff of smoke. Let's take Naruto-kun to the hospital, said Cyra smiling. Nodding, the Raikage picked Naruto up and they rushed to the hospital. Snow Village, I know this might be pointless. Sakura and Lee entered the home of Princess Yuki. This place is big, said Lee looking around the lobby. Oh hello Sakura. It's been so long. Princess. This is my friend Lee. Oh hello what's the matter miss? Asked Lee. Your eyebrows. Lee sulked down and Sakura told Yuki, don't mention that. He's sensitive about that now. Oh alright. Anyway, did Naruto come along? No, that's why I'm here to talk to you. Naruto left the village. The princess stood in shock and then said, I'll take you to the council of our village. That won't be necessary miss. We just came to ask if that on the occasion the leaf is in trouble, we can take refuge in your city, said Lee. If I had anything to say, I would let all of you stay here. But you'll have to ask the council on that. Alright then. We leave tomorrow, said Sakura placing her bags down. You're leaving so soon? Asked Yuki confused. Yes, you can't tell anyone, this mission is secret to the leaf. It's treason. Now why's that? Naruto is wanted dead. Oh my god, what did he do? He did nothing, except leave the village, said Lee walking into his room. Sorry Yuki, but that's how things are and as I said, we leave tomorrow. Cloud Village, 2 days later. Well Kyuubi, I think I got enough energy to get up to daytime for me to wake up. Alright then. Be careful. From what? Waking up back in the hospital bed, he saw Cyra with an angry face and asked, what's wrong Cyra? Hitting him across the head, Cyra shouted, you promised me you'd be okay. I'm here aren't I? Yes, but you're back in a hospital bed. Cyra hit Naruto on the head one more time and then hugged him. So how long was I out this time? 3 days, but I had to help. What do you mean? Cyra smiled and replied, I cured most of your wounds. You might have been out as much as a week if I didn't help. Naruto smirked and asked, now why would you help cure me? Cyra blushed, because we're friends. And today is the ramen off. Okay Cyra-chan. Have you decided what you wanted if you win yet? Yeah, but I'll tell you after I win. Said Cyra smirking. You win? Yep. Oh, and Naruto. Will you have to take me out tonight? Naruto smiled softly, remembering he was going to take Cyra out, but he fell unconscious after his retake summon test. Sure Cyra-chan. Would you like to go to the movies or something like that? I'd like that Naruto-kun. Said Cyra smiling back. Before they started blushing, Naruto asked, so when is the ramen off? In 5 hours. Are you sure you'd be ready by then? Of course. I'm always up to ramen. Haha, alright then. See you later Naruto. See you. Kid, you sure you'll be okay? You just woke up from being in the hospital. How are you going to down at least 10 bowls of ramen? I think I'll manage. 5 hours later, Naruto arrived at the ramen stand, which in front of it was a stretch table to hold 10 people. And inside the stand laid steaming hot bowls of ramen. Suddenly appearing next to him, Cyra shouted, alright. Let's get started. Naruto and Cyra sat in front of each other to watch over each other's progress during the match. Sitting down on their sides were men and teens, one of which was very big and another quite small. Naruto took his cloud headband off his forehead and let it hang from his neck like a napkin. Then the ramen supplier arrived as well as some people to view the competition. A man placed one bowl in front of each contestant and placed many other bowls in the center for the contestants to eat when they continue through bowls. Welcome everyone to the annual ramen off. We have all 10 contestants here ready to pig out on ramen. Here are the rules. I don't suggest you eat if you can't anymore, and my shop is not responsible to pay for your medical bill if anyone gets sick. Naruto chuckled, considering none of those words sounded like rules at all. And last of all, give it your best. Cyra smiled at Naruto and said, let the best one win. Naruto smirked and replied, good luck. The two gripped their chopsticks and waited for the signal go. The contestants went on their ramen bowls like snakes in a sugarcane field. P.S. I don't know how to narrate a food contest. As the first bowls passed by, a man seemed to be getting a little woozy. Naruto and Cyra continued to slurp non-stop, and when their third bowl passed, one man finally backed away. Now on his fourth bowl, Naruto started to struggle with the meat and Cyra seemed to be going through each bowl with ease. When the fifth bowl started, 2 men backed away and 1 man collapsed. Stopping at the beginning of his 6th bowl, Naruto asked Cyra, let's try to lose these 5 guys. Yeah. Naruto and Cyra gripped their 6th bowl and slurped the entire thing down and did the same with the 7th. By then only Naruto, Cyra, and the large man were left up. Now struggling with their 9th, the remaining man had the water from the ramen bowl dripping down their cheeks. Then coming to a halt, the man dropped his bowl and tumbled down to the floor. Naruto and Cyra kept going on through their 12th bowl, and the stand owner was running around biting his lips and praying for one of the 2 to collapse. Inside the stand, the employees were exhausted running around and they only had enough ramen for 4 more bowls. Naruto had finally finished his 13th bowl and heard Kyuubi say, that's it kid. You've reached your limit right now. Your body is slowing down. No. I can do it. Of course you could if you didn't just come out of the ER. Emergency room. Cyra had started her 14th bowl and the crowd let out a small gasp. Naruto painstakingly forced his 14th ramen down his throat. Don't try it. Cyra finished and waited for Naruto, who completed 5 seconds later. Well, looks like we'll have to go one more time Naruto. Oh boy. The supplier placed his last 2 bowls down and Cyra calmly began to eat the meat and Naruto followed the same. The 2 then finished their meat, leaving the noodles. Naruto had now been tilting over and trying to keep himself up. Cyra slowly slurped up the noodles, pushed away her empty bowl, and grinned, waiting for Naruto. If you do it kid, you're just going to pass out again. I got to try. Naruto placed some noodles in his mouth and took centimeters at a time. Hum on Naruto said Cyra tauntingly. As Naruto tried to force the noodles in him, as it seemed, his own body rejected him. Falling face first on the table, Naruto could hear the judge say, and the winner, beating the old ramen record by 7, is Cyra. After fading, Naruto cried to Kyuubi, it is Liger's fault. He wounded me too much you sick bastard. Waking on a bench, Naruto could see Cyra looking down on him. I dreamed? Asked Naruto. Cyra smirked, shoved a gold-plated bowl to Naruto and shouted, nope. I won. Nah. Liger. You sick bastard. I'm going to kill ya. In another place, Liger was underneath a tree sleeping and was awakened when he felt the ground rumble. He then said, oh boy. I think I'll avoid Naruto for another week or so. Back in Naruto's place, some bypassers in the park stared at Naruto who was steaming like a hot kettle. Cyra in the meanwhile was giggling and patting Naruto on the back, trying to calm him. If I wasn't in that dumb hospital, I would have won. That should have been me. Cyra laughed again and said, well you were in a hospital. And what matters is that I won. Naruto put his head down and asked, and what do you request for winning? Cyra whispered, I'll tell you tonight on our date. Naruto sighed and said, I'll go to my place and get dressed. You lost to a girl. Ended eating ramen. Laughed Kyuubi. Naruto turned to the fox with big blank eyes, filled with anger, and shouted, if you ever mention this again, you're going to end up like what I did to Orochimaru. Kyuubi seemed to flinch for a moment and replied, why yeah okay. After getting dressed, Naruto headed out to the theaters and bought the tickets. 5 minutes later, Cyra still didn't appear and Naruto thought, where could she be? The previews are probably almost over. Then right on cue, Cyra appeared wearing a black shirt with a blue jacket and a dark brown, down to the knee-length skirt. And her long black hair was free and hung down a little above the waist. Naruto stood there staring at Cyra, who approached him grinning. Hello in there. Wake up. She's here. Oh you're here Cyra. Yeah sorry I'm a little late. I hope I didn't overdo it. And no. Of course you didn't. The two stood dumbly for a minute until Naruto said, let's go. The movie probably started. After 3 hours in the movies, Naruto and Cyra left, exhausted and teared. Cyra, you were going to mention to me tonight what you wanted for winning. Oh yeah Naruto, let's go sit somewhere. Okay. Finding the same bench where she woke Naruto after the ramen contest, she sat down and said, I waited until now to tell you because I was worried you wouldn't bet on it. What I want Naruto is for you to tell me where you came from and why did you come here. Cyra I know it's nosy, but I want to know what was wrong with you the first month you were here in the cloud. Something must have happened to you before you came here. But this is why I had to force it on you. Please tell me. Okay. Cyra faced Naruto with full attention. I came from the fire country, Konoha. The Leaf Village. All the way from there? Yeah. I left Konoha because it was best for the village. They can forget me now. Why would they want you gone? Asked Cyra. Hey kid, looks like you're going to have to tell her first. Yeah I know. Well Naruto. Cyra, all my life, they treated me as a monster. Why would they do that Naruto-kun? Naruto grinned, same reason that some villagers here are scared of you know why. Cyra's eyes widened, you know about the Nibi. Naruto nodded and smiled softly, yeah. I've known for about 2 weeks. And you? Naruto nodded again, yep. I'm the Kubi Jinchuruki. Cyra stared at Naruto and looked at the tree in front of them, my god. Yeah sorry I didn't tell you Earl. Naruto stopped when Cyra hugged him to suffocation and shouted, I thought I was the only one here. It's okay. Someone understands me. There's always the Raikage he helps you out too. Yeah but there wasn't anyone who'd know how I feel. I was sent to an orphanage at 5. My parents died and my entire village with them. Naruto hugged Cyra back, we can talk about it tomorrow. It's late. Let me walk you home. When they arrived at Cyra's apartment, Naruto said, I hope you had a good time and I guess we'll continue this talk tomorrow. And maybe we can talk about your past. Cyra blushed softly, yeah and Naruto-kun. Wah. Cyra quickly placed her lips on Naruto's and let go just as fast. Thanks. Cyra smiled and shut the door. On the way back to his apartment, Naruto pondered again over what he did to make her thank him. Congratulations kid, this time, you officially scored. Leave me alone. Disclaimer. I don't own Naruto or any of its characters and I don't hope to because it would mess things up. Naruto woke suddenly at around 11:50 p.m. and felt his stomach curl. What's happening? You didn't think that the only side effect from eating all that ramen would be fainting did you kid? Now you tell me. Asked Naruto clutching his stomach and running to the kitchen. Pouring some water into a cup, Naruto asked, do you think I should go and train today? Yeah, or else the Raikage will get suspicious. Hey your training did a number on me. 3 months. You asked for it. Stop me if I ask again for it. I can't be throwing my life away for that. Okay. Feel better now? A little I think I'll hit the hay again. As Naruto fell face first on his bed, his clock hit 12 o'clock midnight. Happy birthday kid. Said Kyuubi obviously straining a smile. Hey. It's October 10th. It's your birthday. Oh thanks. Let's go back to sleep. 9 hours later, in the scroll room. Warning. Next few parts may drag. As Naruto entered the scroll room, he saw that the Raikage was organizing some scrolls and Cyra was reading silently. Naruto tiptoed over to the Raikage and asked, how'd she get so quiet? You tell me. She's been calm all morning, but not depressed or. Hopping in between the two, Cyra appeared suddenly like usual and shouted, good morning Naruto. It was nice while it lasted. Good morning Cyra. You seem drowsy, did that ramen get you last night? Yep, now I know that ramen after extreme medical treatment is not good. But then. What's that scroll of yours over there? Oh, I'm just studying the human body, so that way I can learn how target with senbon needles. Naruto laughed nervously and rubbed his head, that's nice watch where you throw those things he. Well it seems you already know a bit on how to control that blade of yours Naruto. Said the Raikage. Yeah. I never told any of you two this, but before I came here, I knew how to wield a sword. Why didn't you bring a sword when you came here? Asked the Raikage suspiciously. The nins would have tracked me if I brought a weapon here. Cyra and the Raikage glared at Naruto for a moment and then said, okay. Naruto sighed of relief in his mind and searched for scrolls relevant to Genjutsu. When he opened up a scroll, Naruto could see things all familiar to him and so, attempted to look at a higher level of Genjutsu scroll. It seems that you know most of these jutsus. I'm starting to believe the Raikage when he said you're stronger than most Ambu. It's only going to take you 3 weeks to finish this last scroll. Yeah, and then all I'll need is to finish those ninjutsu scrolls is about 2 months, then I'll be done with these scrolls. But there can't be that little of scrolls. I'm sure the village has a secret scroll room somewhere in this village. Filled with forbidden scrolls. Yeah, more motivation for finish this. 8 hours later, AN. This chapter is going to be short, but don't worry, the next chapter will be very long, I promise. As Naruto reached his apartment, he remembered how Cyra and the Raikage left early to do something. At the front of his house, Naruto put the keys in the door and saw that it was open. Holy Christ. A burglar is in there. Kid, I don't think. Before Kyuubi could finish, Naruto had burst through the door and jumped on top of the figure he saw in the shadows. What are you doing here? Asked Naruto, about to punch the figure. The second person in the room turned on the lights and wouldn't you know, it was the Raikage. Wah. Then whose? Naruto looked down and saw Cyra rubbing the back of her head in pain. Cyra-chan. Are you okay? Smooth. Happy birthday, Naruto-kun. When everyone sat down and realized what was going on, Naruto said, sorry, I didn't know that you'd throw me a surprise party. I thought you two were burglars. Cyra hugged Naruto and replied, it's okay. Next time we'll warn you. That would be best. Looking at the kitchen table, Naruto could see a small cake and 2 gifts on top. This is the first time somebody took the time to celebrate my birthday. Naruto and the other 2 sat at the table and sat silently. Quiet. What are we supposed to do? Asked Naruto nervously. Cyra frowned and asked, this is your first birthday party. Yeah, but. Cyra put on an angry face and asked, didn't anybody from where you came from celebrate your birthday with you? Didn't you have any friends? Yeah, but today is a day when my village had an incident, no one is happy today. Well, that's no reason to ignore your birthday. How old are you? I'm 16 today. Cool. A year older than me. Thanks. What do we do now? We just talk and have fun. For the next hour, Naruto, the Raikage, and Cyra all talked and enjoyed the afternoon until the night arrived. Well, Naruto, it was nice, but I must go and check out the council. I have a meeting soon. It's important. Okay then, thanks for the present. Naruto sat back on the couch with Cyra, who was still eating her piece of cake. Well, are you almost done? Asked Naruto, yawning in between the sentence. You're so anxious to get me out of your home? Asked Cyra, smirking. No, it's that you should appreciate a girl's company, Naruto-kun. Said Cyra in a fashion unknown to Naruto. It is just hormones, it's just hormones. Naruto held in his blush, which he had learned to do recently, and said, do you have anything to talk about? I do. In fact, you were going to tell me the rest on where you came from. And I was going to tell you about me. Oh, okay, where did we leave off? Naruto, instead, can I ask you questions about the village instead? I'm sure, just 10 questions, okay? That's enough. Let's see. Question 1, when did you figure out that Abijah was sealed in you? Okay, I was taking my 3rd try to pass the test to become a ninja, and I failed. A teacher named Mizuki tricked me into taking a scroll, saying that if I learned 1 jutsu from it, I would pass. But what he really wanted was the scroll for himself. Another teacher named Iruka found me studying the scroll when the Mizuki arrived and tried to kill him. But I saved Iruka. In the process though, Mizuki told me that I was the Kyuubi holder. I was 12 at that time. Hey, question 2, were you on a team? Yes, I was on the team number 7 with a boy named Sasuke and a girl named Sakura. Question 3, how many friends did you have? What are you getting out of this question? More on your background. Answer. There's Kiba, Niji, Lee, Choji, Shikamaru, Jiraiya. Tsunade's more like a mom, so I had 6 friends. I didn't talk to them much because at first they weren't my friends, but when they did become my friends, I was too busy doing ninja stuff. Question 4, don't get mad at me, but how were your parents like? I didn't know my parents. Ever since I was born I've been an orphan. My mom died probably giving birth to me. And I don't know anything about my father. Sorry I asked. It's alright. Next question. Okay, question 5, what rank of ninja were you able to achieve? I stayed genin. What? B, but you can whoop an Ambu's ass. How did you stay genin? It's a long story, but in short, the first Chunin test I took was interrupted when enemies attacked and only one boy passed. Even though he lost his first fight, he passed because of intelligence, and after that, I missed the Chunin exams afterward because I was always out doing something. If you put it that way. Question 6, what were you always doing? Because if I remember you saying around the time you arrived here that you wanted to be the best ninja ever. So what would hold you back from your dreams so often? Training. Tell me what else. That can't be all there is. Find the boy on my team, Sasuke. He, like me, lost his parents. I think he's blessed because he actually knew his parents for the first 8 years of his life, but his entire clan was killed by his brother. So he became power mad to take revenge on his brother. Sasuke joined a man named Orochimaru, who would give him the power he wanted. But what Orochimaru really wanted was to corrupt Sasuke's body. How does this stop you? I would go on missions to get him back, Cyra. I wouldn't let him die because he was like a brother to me, the best friend I had, a rival, but then he broke the bond. He tried to kill me and others to gain more power. In the end, I saved him on the way to this village. I don't know how he is now. I hope he returned to the village, but then again I don't give a damn what happens to him. Okay Naruto, I think I'm starting to understand why you left that place. It was the villagers, your dreams being broken, but something is missing. So then here's question 7. What fueled you to continue searching for your friend so long? I made a promise. To who? Answer completely. I made a promise to the girl on my team, Sakura. She really liked Sasuke and was sad when he left. So I promised her I'd bring him back for her. Question 8. Did you have a connection to this girl? Cyra, I don't want to talk about her right now. Naruto-kun, give me a chance. Let me know, I won't disappoint you. Okay, so tell me about Sakura. Sakura, she was a smart girl. Many thought she was ugly, but I thought otherwise. I always stuck up for her. So yeah, I liked her. Liked her? What happened? This is your 9th question. Hi Naruto. Tell me what she did to you. Please tell me. Sakura, she always paid attention to Sasuke. She'd go around saying that she's his true love and crap like that. Sakura and every other girl around her age in Konoha would do that. All they would care about is their beloved Sasuke. Even my old sensei favored him over the rest. Then one time I failed bringing Sasuke back. Sakura believed it was my fault. So I tried to fix things up with Sakura and make her feel better, but all she would do is hit me in the face and throw me away. After that I had nothing else to stay in that village for. Guess you don't have to ask any more questions. Cyra frowned and said, actually I do. Last question, what do you think of that village now? I don't think the village is my home but more like an orphanage. I still had 3 important people there to me, but it won't bother them if I left. Besides, I probably made the village a better place since I left. Naruto then felt Cyra hug him like she tends to do and she said, anybody will have to be crazy to be happy if you leave. Thank you Cyra. Naruto then glanced at the clock, which showed 7:30. Hey, it's getting late. Are you sure you want to continue this talk? Smiling, she replied, no one is waiting for me, I can stay a little longer. Okay, so tell me about your past. I was born June 19th 15 years ago, in the village of the Cliffs, known only to the Cloud. I was brought up through the Orochimaru clan. So my full name is Cyra Orochimaru. So how was the Nibi sealed in you? It started in the morning. Flashback, AN. Remember, this is going to be a little boring. A young girl with black hair was walking down a set of stairs and saw her father looking outside the window. Daddy, what's wrong? Asked the small girl. The waves have been big lately, sweetheart, go get your mother for me. Okay daddy. Then flashback, temporarily. So what happened after that? Well, after I got my mother, she and my father were outside on the porch, but I wasn't allowed outside. So I decided to look out of my window, and then I saw that the waves would crash against the top of the cliff and water would spray on the village. Yet people would continue on with their jobs like any ordinary day. Was the Nibi behind this? Yes, I'm getting there. Flashback continued. Cyra and her parents were walking through the town when some water began flowing through the marketplace. Looking over to the edge of the cliff, Cyra could see a wave flow over the rock and splash onto the street. People started walking to their houses, and during the time, the waves kept growing larger and strong winds began to blow in. Cyra was having trouble walking, so her father picked her up and carried her on his back. Mommy, what's going on? I don't know honey. But it'll be okay. Pause. The villagers believed we'd be safe because the water would flow down the cliff and not flood us. But they couldn't stop a demon. Are you sure you want to continue? I'm almost done. Continued. Cyra and her family locked all the doors and windows in their house, cuddled up in her parents' bedroom, and waited for the storm to end, like any other hurricane they lived through. Since nobody had time to prepare for the storm, the windows had no shutters, and Cyra could see out the window. It was night and the full moon was out, and like a tsunami coming to land, she could see a dark purple figure racing over the water to the village, and its feet created waves as they hit the water. Look. Gasping in shock, her dad picked her up and followed by the mom, they ran outside to escape. But like most say, if you're close enough to see a tsunami coming, you'll never outrun it. Since Cyra was picked up by the front of her father, her head faced the back, where she could see the Nibi beginning to glow from afar like a fire. Also, running behind her parents were other people from the village, screaming and shouting. Pause. It was a stampede Naruto. People would run over others trying to outrun the beast. Whole families would trip and be trampled over like soil. And the Nibi, when did it reach the village? Continue, AN. Remember, this chapter is long, but the is also short and quick. Shortly after the panic began, the Nibi had reached the base of the cliff and was hidden beneath the rock. Suddenly, Cyra could see not very far behind her, the ground crack and fall to the ocean, falling with it some of the village's houses and people who were too slow to outrun the Nibi. Then flashback. After that it's more of a blur to me. I do remember though a wave coming into the ocean rather than out of the ocean. That's odd, most likely the demon. Yeah, and the wave brought me and the villagers towards the Nibi. My parents were knocked off their feet from the wave's current and while falling I saw a man behind the wave coming in. I don't know if it could have been him that sealed me in the Nibi because when I woke up I was safe on ground unharmed and beside me was an Ambu squad from the cloud that took me here. After silence, Naruto said, "Whoa, well I was born during a demon attack, but you lived through one. I don't know what I should say now. It's alright, now we know about each other and don't have to keep secrets. Yeah, but doesn't it hurt you to talk about it?" Cyra smiled softly and said, "You can't dwell on the past, Naruto-kun, don't look back or you'll hit a wall. Look ahead and keep going." That's probably the first thing she said that made sense. "Shut up, Fox, she's nice. Well, good night Naruto-kun, see you tomorrow morning." Before Cyra could leave, the Raikage entered the room, grinned and said, "I had a feeling you'd stay here longer, Cyra." Cyra blushed softly, "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing at all, I came to tell you too that tomorrow you'll be meeting me at the Ninja Academy. There are some people I want you to meet." "Okay then you guys better get going." "Very well," said the Raikage leaving grinning. "Very well," said Naruto imitating the Raikage in a childish way. "Hahaha. He's starting to annoy me too." Well, have a good night Cyra-chan." "Oh okay Naruto." The two stared at each other pointlessly until Cyra said, "Why do we always do this?" "Do what?" asked Naruto nervously. "Why can't we just?" Before Cyra could finish, Naruto said, "Okay then I'm tiered. Bye." Naruto shut the door behind him leaving Cyra hanging. What was that? Be a man, damn it. Be a man. Is letting your hormones take over you being a man. Of course. What do you think being a man was? Here we go again. I don't own Naruto or any of its characters or ideas, it's all Kishimoto's doing. Konoha. The final squad of Sakura and Lee entered the gates of the Leaf and headed straight to Tsunade. "Glad you two are back, now we can calm down a bit." Sakura and Lee noticed that the rest of the group were in the room as well. "Thankfully this mission is over as it seemed, the council was getting suspicious on our activities." "Yeah, but we're done here. We don't have to do anything illegal anymore," said Kiba. "You still need to keep secret what we have done. We need to hide any evidence of the trips each of you have taken the past month. If any of you receive messages from the villages you visited earlier, burn them." "What would the council do if they learned what we've been doing?" asked Temari. Reminder. Shikamaru and Mace brought Temari and Kankuro to the Leaf on request by Gaara to keep them safe. I hope I'm not being reductant. I don't know really, but if they knew I was behind this, they might be able to strip my rank. And choose another Hokage. "Who would they choose to replace you?" asked Mace curiously. "Well, it won't be Jiraiya. Council nowadays believe the Hokage should be wiser than strong, which is partially true." "Who is it then?" asked Niji. "I don't know," shouted Tsunade. "Sorry about that, I just can't take thinking what would happen if the council found out. Instead, tell me how was each other's trip." Kankuro began, "My brother Gaara said a little before we left that he wants us gone from the Sand Village. To protect us in case of attack from the Akatsuki. Yes, with Orochimaru now dead, the Akatsuki have no downside to attacking the villages." Ino stood and asked, "Hokage-sama, will you now tell us what the council leader meant when he referred to Naruto as a beast? You've refused many times. It's about time we know because this seems to affect the Akatsuki and our plans greatly. Find the law doesn't mean two shits now. About time each of you know. I don't know how to lay it down though." Sakura and Sasuke had learned recently of Naruto's secret, so this was no surprise to him. The story, or should I say legend of the fourth Hokage killing the Kyuubi 16 years ago, is a lie. Niji frowned and said, "I understand now." "So do I," said Shikamaru. "Stop being so smart and tell us," shouted Kiba. "Keep it low or someone will hear us." Tsunade sighed and replied, "The fourth never killed the Kyuubi, and 16 years since yesterday, the fourth not rid the village of the Kyuubi, but sealed it in a newborn child. The child's parents would object to that," said Hinata. "It didn't matter, the child not only was the fourth son, but his mother died giving birth to him. That boy is Naruto. And just so you know, I don't think I can come up with anything creative to Naruto's relatives, so I just chose what mostly everyone does, the fourth Hokage." Everyone's eyes widened. Hold up. If Naruto's the fourth son, shouldn't he have a fortune, a real home? Relatives? No, the bastards in the council agreed that Naruto would receive his inheritance at 18. And his clan is dead. "That is horrible," whispered Hinata. Sasuke snapped out of his trance and asked, "Hold it. Naruto is part of a clan. Does that mean he has an ability, fighting style, or bloodline?" Yes, sadly though, ever since the Kyuubi attack, all records on his clan's bloodline have been lost. It would be like trying to decode a dead language. Naruto would have to figure it out himself. Man, that's enough for today, you can leave now. People walked out completely silent until the last ones in were Mace, Sakura, and Sasuke. You three, Kakashi would like to see you at the usual spot. Okay sensei. Said Sakura leading out. Through the streets, all three of them were in silence, and Sakura couldn't take it, so Mace, how was your trip to Suna? Oh, it was great. That Shikamaru is quiet and I didn't have to put up with people. Sakura held in her urge to punch him and asked, so Sasuke, how was your trip? That's been bothering me for a while. What? Was something wrong? No, do you remember the bridge? Yeah. They named it the Great Naruto Bridge. Sakura smiled sadly and Mace looked at each of them curiously, are you two okay? Why yeah, I'll be fine. Why do you care? Asked Sasuke quickly. I don't want either of you to cry. It would ruin the nice and silent day I'm having. Bastard, said Sasuke, gritting his teeth. Sasuke, has it really been a month? Huh? A month since Naruto left. Yeah, it seems like it's been forever, huh? Before they arrived to the usual training grounds, the three passed by the ramen shop. It was empty. It wasn't even noon yet and the shopkeeper had put up the closed sign already. This town's so quiet and bummed down now, said Sakura looking down holding in tears. The team saw Kakashi waving in the training grounds. Sasuke smiled and said, we'll get him back. Soon. Said Sakura wiping off a tear. Cloud Village, earlier in the day. Naruto was on his way to the ninja academy for the thing the Raikage wanted to show him and ran into Cyra. Oh hey Cyra. Oh hey. Sorry about shutting the door in front of you last night. That's okay, I was teared too hee. Said Cyra nervously. Naruto went off subject and said, oh and thanks for the jacket you got me. It's nice. You're welcome. You wear a lot of orange and I saw that your jacket was ripped up. Thanks to Orochimaru, thought Naruto. The jacket wasn't puffy like the ones Naruto used to wear and was thinner, yet it had the usual collar, which was red, and the jacket itself was orange with black stripes around it. Yep. This is the place. I never thought I'd see this place again. Said Cyra stopping in front of a building. I thought you were taught by the Raikage. Yeah, but a little before that I was taught here. On the way inside, Naruto said, you lead, we go to room 214. Okay. That's this way. Cyra ran through the halls and Naruto sighed, chasing after her. Here we are. Said Cyra, turning the doorknob. Looking inside, Naruto could see the Raikage sitting down with three other people. Oh hey, you called? Asked Naruto. Yes Cyra. Naruto. This is Vincent and Anya. Who are they? Asked Cyra. They will be your team members. We're on a squad now. Yes, you and Cyra are now qualified to join an Ambu squad. I think it's time that you two joined a regular group. Don't get mad that Naruto is no Ambu. I hope I'm not giving the impression that I'm just throwing all this random stuff out because this is all part of the plot. It's not just some way to make Naruto look stronger or give him a way to laugh in Konoha's face, this is all part of the plan. So that meeting you were on yesterday was? Yes, I talked to the council to arrange for you two to be on a team. That's awesome. Shouted Naruto. These people are closer to your age, so I think you'd communicate better with them. Vincent is your captain. Vincent was a brown-haired man, he's about 20 years old, maybe younger. And Anya was a red, long-haired girl, close to the age of 18. What are your names? Asked Anya. I'm Yoramaru Cyra. And I'm Uzumaki Naruto. Anya nudged Vincent with her elbow. Oh sorry, nice to meet you. Said Vincent grinning. Vincent is always quiet, but he's great once you get to know him. Cyra smiled and said, the same with Naruto here. HMPH. Said Naruto and Vincent in Unasian. Cyra and Anya chuckled, they'll get along. Vincent, Anya, take these two to the defense quarters where they can get their equipment. Okay. See you some other time, old man. Said Naruto. Please don't call me that. Well, I'm getting bored of calling you Raikage. Then call me by my name, Sarashi. Okay Sarashi. See ya. Careful. When the four arrived inside the gates, Anya said, as Ambu, our job is to go outside the village and guard it as well. Our missions only go as low as B rank and could go to the highest S rank, so our pay is good. And since we'll be going outside the village, we get to do a lot of sightseeing. Sounds nice. Said Cyra. Vincent sighed and said, yeah, we have our good times, but remember we always need to be alert and protect others. You didn't have to ruin the fun. When inside the building, Vincent said, Anya, take Cyra to the left wing, I'll take Naruto to the right. Okay. Inside the right wing, Vincent showed Naruto the equipment room and tossed him some clothes. That's your uniform there, and over there are the masks. Oh kid. I like that one. Well obviously you like it fair. It's my decision. Well you are the Kyuubi Kitsune's jailer. Come on. Take that one. Bet down and beg me. Forget it you bastard. Okay I'll get it. Naruto's chose a mask resembling a fox. So how long have you been here? For a little more than a month. So you weren't born here? No, I come from another village. I left because I didn't want to take any more crud from them. So you're a missing min. That's what I am in short. Which village did you come from? Konoha. The Leaf. Luckily you weren't thrown out by the Raikage right when you entered. Yeah, I hid my headband from the guards at first. In the left wing, a little earlier. So are you glad about becoming an Ambu? Yeah, but it's kind of dangerous. Ah. Did Vincent bring your hopes down? Sort of, he's right though. Ah, he's nice and all but never relaxes. He looks for the disadvantage or negative in everything he does. I think he's just looking out for us, making sure we don't get too comfortable. Yeah, but I wish he'd just enjoy something for once instead of spoil it for others. Don't drag me into an argument, I don't like arguing. Do you know where are the masks? Oh, in there. Said Anya pointing to a bin in the corner. Cyra looked inside and picked out a cat mask. During which she seemed aggravated. What made you pick that one? Asked Anya. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Said Cyra chuckling. Okay then, let's get dressed. Back in the lobby, Naruto and Vincent were walking in pace impatiently. Why are girls always late? Asked Naruto taking a seat on the nearby couch. I don't know. They're going to be wearing masks so it doesn't matter how they look for God's sakes. I see Naruto is as impatient as you are Vincent. Said Anya. Okay. Let's put on our masks and head to the north wing. Vincent and Anya put on their masks, Vincent's was a wolf and Anya's was a bear. Naruto and Cyra put on their masks and heard Vincent and Anya leaving, so Naruto said, guys, I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, but I can't see a thing. Me neither. Said Cyra who was just as confused as Naruto. Oh, these masks are special for the Ambu. Focus your chakra into the mask and from your perspective, the mask will be transparent. Said Vincent. Hey, and I don't know if that's true, but hey, I don't think Haku can perfectly lock on and pierce Abuse's neck and keep him alive to boot with a mask impairing his eyesight. Okay. As Naruto's vision cleared, he could see Cyra's cat mask, chuckled, and asked quietly and closely to her, did it tell you to pick that mask? Cyra giggled and asked, did yours? Yeah, these damn bai just won't let us pick what we want, always bossing us around. Naruto grinned under his mask. Are you two done yet? Asked Anya coming back in the lobby. Oh sorry. Said the two in Unasian, following her to the north wing. I assume you two know how to use a weapon? Asked Vincent like a teacher asking for homework. I'm still practicing, but Naruto knows how to wield a double-edged sword. Said Cyra nervously. What weapon do you practice with? Cyra pulled the weapons out of a small steel case at her waist and said, Senbon. Naruto flinched and said, watch where you point those things. Sorry. Well here we are, nothing much to say about this place, except that this is where Anbus can communicate with each other and that board over there is where we get assigned our missions. Also down the hall over there is a training arena for us, you can practice all you want there. Sounds good. Said Cyra putting her senbon back in her case. Well the only place we have to go to know is the registration room. Said Anya sitting down on a chair. I got a question. Said Cyra. Yeah? Why do we have to wear our masks in here? Identity theft. But most of us wear different masks. I know, that's why we're taking you to the registration room so you can get your ID card and picture. After that, you can have the mask on or off anytime in here that you want, but outside, if you're wearing your Anbu uniform, you must have your mask on at all times. To hide your identity from the public in case of any situation. Oh okay. Naruto looked at his new card, which said, number 285, and among that was his height, age, and a picture of him with a mask on. Where's my name in this? Vincent sighed and said, most of our equipment require you to focus your chakra into them, turn your card around. Naruto did as told and flipped the card and focused his chakra into it, revealing in faint letters, Uzumaki Naruto. Cool. Only bring that when you're going to the Anbu quarters, never bring it on missions. After the Naruto and Cyra got undressed and packed up, they met at the entrance again with Vincent and Anya. So I'll see you two tomorrow in the North Wing to train and maybe by next week we'll be given a mission. Said Vincent. Well thanks for showing us around Capitan. You too Anya. Said Naruto. Okay, it's almost 5 so you might want to get going. Said Anya going back inside. Well Naruto, I'm glad to have you on the team, you'll do great. Thanks. Naruto and Vincent shook and went their ways. I think you just made another couple of friends today, let's go back to the apartment so I can accomplish another day of doing nothing inside this god-forsaken cage. Naruto walked by Cyra who was unusually quiet and asked, anything wrong? Do you think we're ready to become Anbu? I'm still practicing on my senbon. Practice does make ya better. We'll learn. Not really, however I do understand most of the scrolls the Raikage has presented us, but considering the fact that we've only fought each other in sparring class, we don't really know how strong we are in combat with others. So maybe we are Anbu level. I'm still uneasy, it's been a while since I communicated with other people besides you and the Raikage. You shouldn't worry about that, you'll be wearing a mask the whole time. And it makes you feel better, I'll stick around with you to make sure nothing bad happens," said Naruto grinning. "Thanks." After a long silence, Naruto asked, "Since it's a good day, how about we go to Hibashi's and take a walk?" "And Hibashi's is the ramen place." "Really?" Naruto smirked and said, "Yeah, we can call it the date that none of us had to force, bet, or pity the other to do." Cyra smiled brightly and said, "I'd like that. Can I meet you there in 30 minutes? "Sure. I'll go drop off my stuff and get dressed." "Me too, see you there." "So Itachi, Mace has given us something." "Yes sir, according to the note he sent us, this thing can track down Jinchurikis. And also, the Kyuubi jailer left a leaf and is missing." "Wait, according to the note, this thing is locked onto Naruto's blood signature." "Yes, but if you read the scrolls on Biju, if a human gets a demon sealed in them, their blood is tattooed with demon signature, so not only can this pendant track Naruto's blood, but it can track demon signatures as well. This will make our job much easier." "Yes, so I suggest we make copies of these and send this one back to Mace. Then we should start now so he doesn't blow his cover," said Kiss him in the back. "Let's go kiss him," said Itachi, leaving the room. What if Tsunade takes away Naruto's headband? Thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like if you guys need the next part, comment down, and thanks for watching the video and see you guys in the next video.